Hello, everyone. Before we get started on this week's episode, just a quick word that YouTube, in all its infinite wisdom, has decided that some of the Die Party games are now not suitable for advertising. It doesn't mean a whole lot for the content. I'm not going to censor the videos in any way, but if you'd like to lend your support so that Die Party can continue to grow, please check out the Patreon or subscribe on the Twitch channel. Enjoy the episode. G'day, Cowpokes, and welcome to the very first episode of Die Party Noose. I say episode, but I'm lying. It's actually the character creation episode, which is technically episode 0. So, still an episode. I don't know. So we're playing Deadlands Reloaded, which is a Deadlands game, if the title didn't give it away already. And
It's
you're like...
Reloaded.
Yeah, it's also Reloaded. So a little bit of history here. Deadlands is a pretty old game. Remake. The remake is Deadlands Reloaded. The original, which is now called Deadlands Classic, was a weird game, filled with weird mechanics and some weird shit. But Deadlands Reloaded is basically a, it's basically Savage World Deluxe with a thematic spin on it. So if you played Savage World Deluxe, I keep saying Shadow for some reason. If you played Savage World Deluxe before, you've played this game. There are some minute changes to the rules, but we'll go over them, as we always do. But yeah, we're here to make some characters and explore the world of the Weird West, which is basically the Wild West, but with zombies and demons and crazy stuff like that. So... yeah, let's introduce everyone who's playing with us. I've got you two in the wrong fucking position because I'm a goddamn idiot. But let's start off with Mr. Drummer Boy. What up, sir? How you doing?
Hello. Doing good. Been a while since I've been around here, since the Abyss. Just working on music more. If you guys don't know me, if this is like your first time seeing me on Die Party, I'm one of the musicians behind Roleplay and the main musician at Roll20 and other like tabletop streams around the internet. So yeah.
You also enjoy them, right? You enjoy role-playing. You're a role player at heart, maybe.
It's true. Although I only started maybe 9 months ago.
Yeah.
I've been like peripherally involved for a while, but
But you've seen streams before, you know how it works, and you stepped into it feeling the, I guess, understanding. Like, for me, I played I never played any role-playing games, but I watch a lot of, like, the streams and stuff, and I always found it interesting, but doing it is a different thing, but yeah. But, hey, yep. What's your experience with the Wild West? Like, where does your sort of allotment of mental capacity align for that?
Basically, like, I've seen people play Red Dead Redemption, and then the like zombie mode of that, I guess, is kind of Weird West.
Yeah, in a way, that's more B movie. So the Weird West in this game is more like shit your pants terror than B movie like shambling zombies. Though there is some shambling zombies. God damn it. Why does the auto mod do that? It's so dumb.
Fucking auto mod.
Fucking auto mod. I turned it off.
It allowed my message.
No, I had to allow it myself.
Ugh.
So dumb.
Because it had the word mother in it.
Yeah. It had yippee in it, which is
It's a slang for sex.
Oh God. So you haven't watched any movies or anything like that? Like you don't have any, like you didn't play Cowboys and Indians as a kid, and you didn't do any of that shit?
A little bit, but where my head goes like Weird West, I'm basically thinking The Witcher meets Red Dead Redemption.
I mean, you're pretty much spot on there. It's more adult horror than stupid pulpy horror, but yeah.
Yeah, and I just played the entire Witcher series, so I'm primed, ready to go.
Speaking about pulpy horror, let's go on over to Mr. Spooty McTooty. What up, sir? How you doing? How's the PC treating you, man?
It's good. It's full of pulpy goodness.
Yeah? Like,
Yeah.
do you like your orange with pulp as well?
Yes. No. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Pulp can die. I don't understand pulp and orange juice. It's like, I want to drink orange juice and get a bunch of shit stuck in my teeth at the same time.
Are you just real quickly able to edit your settings because Zoom is like altering your volume?
My settings?
In Zoom, yeah. Just click the little triangle, go to audio options. Next to the microphone, I mean.
So.
And then go test computer mic settings. And then there's a box under under the microphone that says automatically adjust microphone. And just make sure that's not selected. And
it was selected.
Yeah, because it was changing your volume when you got louder. So just crank that all the way up to the max and just leave it there.
All right, we're good.
You're perfectly adult human male, able to control your own volume. Thank you, computer.
Yay!
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah. So, Spooty, if people are seeing you for the first time, what do you do on the internet?
What do I do on the internet?
What do you do on
It's mostly Die Party. I've been in a lot of shows. I was in the first Die Party show.
The very first one.
You should look it up. It's great.
Oh, no, it's garbage. I recently went through and like assembled a list of like all the Die Party games. Yeah. I didn't include that one.
Oh. Oh boy.
Yeah, Demon Hunt was kind of like everyone needs a first stream, everyone needs a first thing. Don't watch it.
It's fantastic. You should all watch it.
Yeah.
Stop watching this live show and go watch the VOD. It's amazing.
No, don't stop watching this, please. But yeah, so you're a streamer.
So, well, I'm like a baby streamer. I try to stream every weekend on Saturday and Sunday, like in the morning, and then every once in a while during the week, I might have a random, bug up my ass, and I'll throw a stream up for an hour or two. I'm just doing it for fun,
streaming bugs,
seeing what happens.
So
I'm very close to affiliate status, so that's kind of cool.
Good, you're getting there then.
Yeah.
You're getting there. So, what about you? What's your experience with the Western trope?
Yeah, so my grandfather loved not only like the really good old Western movies, like the old Clint Eastwood type stuff, but all the cheesy Westerns too. And so I remember I would be sitting in his room, he'd be sitting there smoking cigarettes, and we would just watch old ass cowboy movies.
Mm-hmm. My dad was really into cowboy movies as well, but I never actually watched any with him.
It was less me watching the movies out of enjoyment. It was more just enjoying hanging out with him.
Yeah.
But, through osmosis or whatever, I pulled some stuff in. And I have a greater appreciation for him now. And there are a lot of good, newer, cowboy or Western type movies. What's that one with Morgan Freeman and Wyatt Earp's really good. Unforgiven. Unforgiven is like one of the best movies, and even not only one of the best Western movies, but really just one of the best movies that you can watch. If you've not seen Unforgiven, you should watch that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And last but not least, we have Mr. Malau the monkey. What up, sir? This is your first time here on the stream, but welcome all the same. First die party, best die party. Yeah. What are you about, man? Where can people find your booty holes and stuff?
Well, I play games. Usually I try to stream them as often as I can, or at my Twitch. That's about it. Play if you guys want to play D&D for yourself, you can come to my stream every Friday where I play D&D with my viewers. So
Shit.
that is what I do.
All right, so how do you do that? Do
cool.
you just do it over text? Like, how does that work exactly? You just bring them into a game and say like, all right, bitches, here's a 4-1-1. There's a Goblin King and he's crawling up your butthole. You got a sword. Let's finish this. Is that how it works?
No, I usually sometimes at the beginning it was kind of like that because only my viewers had writing, but I demanded that they had a microphone and a Roll20 account and a Discord account, and then I invited them into my Discord and we talked.
So you do over the microphone stuff. Nice. Yeah, that's a good way to handle it. There are a lot of I guess like a lot of people love to play Dungeons and Dragons, but not a lot of people want to put their face on YouTube, as it turns out. So, yeah.
Well, I'm not putting that on YouTube. It's you get in and you get a pre-generated level 1 character that I have spent hours on creating. For some characters, I think I spent 2 on one of them. I don't know why.
Fuck that shit.
So level 1 character is gonna die a lot. Just roll it out 2 hours later. Fuck. I give them a level 1 character, and we play from 1 to level 4, where I then take their characters away from maybe a later episode campaign.
And you just start them from 1 again?
And then I just start them from 1 again.
Okay, that's interesting. They retire at the ripe old age of level 4.
It almost sounds like so the local game store by my house, they do a Pathfinder thing where they call it the cheese tournament, and they basically give you pre-made min-max characters, and they throw you in this fucked up dungeon, and basically anyone can play. Like you jump in, you put like $5 in the pot, you can win money, but basically whoever can live the longest. So like if you die, you get up out of the chair, someone hops in. But basically whoever can stay in the longest, they win a little prize pool and then a little trophy made of cheese. It's pretty good.
Wow, that actually does sound pretty dope.
Made of cheese or like shaped like cheese?
No, like it's actual like a block of cheese. Like
That's amazing.
Wisconsin cheddar. Yeah.
Nice. Though I don't give out cheese, but kind of the same. Give your character survive. Throwing out encounters for 2 level higher than what they are. So
Nice.
Surprisingly, many people have actually made it to level 4, even though, hey, here's a fully upgraded Lich.
I'm gonna tell you something. I have never died in Dungeons and Dragons.
I have killed plenty of people.
I have never died in basic bitch out of the book Dungeons and Dragons. I have never died once.
You've come pretty close.
I have come close. I have never died. You know what my secret is? Half orc fighter.
Well,
impossible to kill.
Well, and
I fell off a fucking mountain after being kicked in the face by a dragon, and I did not die. So
I was a gnome. I was a gnome bard, and I was unkillable until I got killed. But I mean, you could make an argument that Gags was almost as strong as your half orc.
You could. You could make any argument, really. Anyways, guys, we're gonna play some fucking Deadlands Reloaded, but we need to make some mans. We need to make some manly men's. So let's go around in order of introductions and maybe give a brief synopsis of the idea that you've spawned for your Wild West mans, and then we can go ahead step by step and make some mans. Drummer boy, tell me about your mans.
So on the whole Witcher train, basically transplanting a Geralt type character into the Weird West. So like someone who's been around the block a few times, a drifter, no roots anywhere really, just like making a living, and been doing it for a fucking while. So
yeah. There's actually mechanics in this game for creating veteran type characters, but how this is where the sort of like the magic comes in for Deadlands Reloaded, because basically if you want a veteran character, you have to take some fucking mental problems along with it, which is great. There's a table.
Yeah.
You don't roll in this game. You draw some cards from a 52 standard card deck, which we have here. I'll show everyone this page real quick because it's fucking glorious.
Give me an idea of like the spectrum, like most mundane fucking.
Nope, I'm not allowed to tell you.
You're not allowed to tell me like the range.
In fact, some of the results I can't even tell you what the results are.
Fuck.
This is what I'm saying, man. This is what I'm saying. This game is.
All right, here we go.
But yeah, so this is the map for the West. Like, look at this shit, man. Look how intricate this shit is. This is gonna be fun because on top of this, let me show you something that I put together real quick. Now, I'll drag the players over this so you can see it as well. Boom. So this is the fear map. Now, this game is all about basically saving the Wild West from abominations that will eventually 100% destroy the West and the rest of the world. This map here, this color-coded map that I put together, the darker the color, the more fearful the area and the more intense the experience for the players. You guys will be starting in Texas, which is a level 2 fear area. And your job is to reduce the fear of this region by killing large fear-making creatures. And the way you do that is by identifying what that creature is and trying to work out how to kill it, because a lot of times putting a bullet in its brain is not enough to kill these things. So that's what the fun of this game is going to be. It's basically like Supernatural, the TV show, but in the Wild West. Because
if I have learned anything from Supernatural, just silver it up and it'll do the job.
Good luck finding silver in this place. But yeah, so we have this.
Find a guy with a silver tooth, just knock his tooth out and put it in a gun.
Yeah, so we have this this mechanic here of drawing cards. Like we can draw cards like this. They also have this other mechanic in this game for fate chips, which is literally these little chips that get drawn. There's a couple of different colors. There's white, there's blue, there's red, and there's purple. But purple's not in the deck right now because you get purple when you kill a giant monster, and then it represents luck and shit like that in the game as well. So basically, if you've ever played Savage World, they have bennies. They call them bennies, right? Bennies are just like, oh, I want to re-roll that GM. I will spend a benny, right? In this game, there are chips, and the chips represent the bennies. So I get bennies for how many people are playing, and my monsters can use those bennies against you. The red benny is basically you can do a lot more stuff with it, but when you use it, I get a benny as well, or a fate chip. And if you use a blue one, it's the same as the red one, except for the fact that I don't get any benefits if you use it. So that's basically the whole point of this. So we're going to shuffle all this stuff. We're not going to deal too much with that today because we got some shit to do instead. So to go over, if you want to check out what the fate chips actually do, I have made a little handout on the map there, which you can take a look at. But basically, using a red chip gives you an extra D6 to roll on any stat that you make. And negates a critical failure, basically. And you can also just use it as a white chip or whatever. So that's basically the game. It's not too hard. It's definitely not a very difficult game, but the fun comes in when we do this stuff. So you're making a Geralt type character. Cool, I like it. And you've sort of decided that it's going to be like a old-timey gunslinger, right?
Yeah, so like in game terms, it's gonna be like drifter veteran with some head trauma kind of stuff.
Sweet. Spooty McTooty, what about you? What are you doing? What's your man's?
So I am playing a kind of stereotypical Irish priest.
Oh boy.
And he's actually based off of the Catholic priest that I had growing up at my church. He drank strong black coffee, smoked cigarettes. You know, his name was Tom, We called him Father Tom. He was just a pretty badass dude. He was a boxer, so like he would actually you could like go and watch your priest fight in like amateur boxing matches, which was weird. But yeah,
I'll beat the devil out of you, boy.
He was like, yeah, well, he was like this big tough guy, but also like the coolest, nicest dude that you could meet.
He's got like a gigantic cross tattoo on his back. Just
he didn't have any tattoos, sadly, but
that you know of. That
I know of, yeah. I didn't have that kind of relationship with my Catholic priest, so I'm good. But he's my character is taking what is it, the blessed trait or blessed background?
Yeah, so he's gonna be playing a blessed character, which in this game is like a man of faith, like a witch doctor, like a voodoo man, basically anyone that has been given the Almighty power by the Almighty, essentially.
Yeah. So basically, what it means is I don't spend power to cast a spell. I literally pray, say what spell I want to use, and then I gotta roll for it.
So the roll represents like where like how attuned he is to God, and
Right.
what and whether or not God is actually listening.
Right.
And if you pass that roll, you just activate the spell and it just goes off and you do whatever it is that the spell does. Failure to roll successfully means that you just don't get that spell. Like God isn't listening, or you haven't been
Right.
faithful enough, or whatever mechanical narrative reason we come up with. On top of that, and this is what makes the blessed character so interesting, because like I said,
but hold on, before you go into that, I think it's what is it? If it's critical fail, if I have enough critical fails on prayers, I can actually lose my faith, and I can't fucking pray at all. I actually have to do certain things in order to gain my faith back, like proselytize to people or whatever, get a religious following going or something in order to get my faith back to even use these powers.
Yeah. Yeah. What does it say here? So.
And knowing my history in dice rolling on die party shows, I might make it to 2/3 through the first episode before I lose my faith.
Yeah. So you don't. So the other thing that's worth pointing out, the blessed character has this mechanic called sin, which is to say, furthermore, the blessed must also make their lives and examples to others and abstain from sinful ways. So information on what constitutes a sin to the Christians, the most common religion on the frontier, is a good guide for what rules apply to what's going on here. For example, minor sin is taking the Lord's name in vain, getting drunk, lying, refusing to aid those in need, envying another person's possessions, which includes out of character talk as well. Major theft, turning away from those in dire need, failing to take communion on Sundays, and mortal, adultery, killing other than in self-defense, blasphemy, which is like denial of faith, basically. So being sinful can basically remove your miracles. So the way that it works mechanically, if a faith die comes up with 1, regardless of your wild die, the result of the wild die, because in this game you roll your skill level and a wild die, which is always a d6. Your hero suffers a crisis of faith. His prayers are ignored, and his faith die is reduced to 1 until the next time he successfully performs a miracle. If his faith die would ever be reduced below a d4 in this way, the blessed has lost his faith. He can no longer perform miracles and must find some way to ease his doubts. Much like atonement for mortal sin, this usually takes the form of spiritual quest to restore the blessed to his devout ways, performing truly selfless act, converting a tribe of heathens, showing courage in defending the faith, and such like. I don't need to necessarily tell you what you need to do, but you need to sort of narratively come up with whatever that might be, because it's your character. You do whatever you do.
And wherever we may be at story-wise would drive that decision. So
yeah. So basically, sin adds to that. So whenever you make a roll, you basically are rolling at a negative always, because you're a powerful fucking character, and sin constitutes to the negatives that you get, basically.
Right.
So it's a pretty interesting character mechanic. I really like it, especially the fact that it also, like, for example, if Spooty here says, "Oh man, that's cool that you got that gun," or something like that, right? That's a sin, because he, as the player and the character, cannot envy another man's possessions. So it's kind of an interesting way to look at this guy's mechanics and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of cool.
Can I use swears?
As long as they don't take the Lord's name in vain.
Right. Okay.
So if you ever say Jesus Christ, it's a sin.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, exactly. And last but not least, Mr. Maleo, what have you got for us?
Well, if everything goes as planned, I'm going to play a little boy traveling around searching, what do you call it, ghost stones?
Ghost rock. Ghost rock. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be a little boy who has had contact with the ghost rock, basically been able to make a duplicate of himself while trying to research this little rock. Also tinkering with guns and other.
So he's basically playing a mad scientist type character.
Who's 12 years old.
Yeah, which in this game is actually kind of like, it's got a whole mechanic to it, which is to say that as a mad scientist, you can take every time you level up, you basically get a single spell that you can actually make physical, which is to say, like, for example, if you want to throw a fireball in magic terms, but as a mad scientist, you make that into like a gun that shoots lava or something like that, right? That's essentially what that means. A child and a priest, oh my. Yeah. I did not know about the child aspect of your character.
We did not plan that.
No, we did not plan that. That's something he came up with all on his lonesome. So, yeah, basically every time that you level up and take a new spell, you will get a mental deformity, which might include Alzheimer's and paranoia and other such stuff. So,
can you imagine a 12-year-old with Alzheimer's? That'd be amazing.
I mean, that's one way of looking at it. So yeah, that's pretty much our characters. I am going to be saddling up you guys with an NPC character, just because it's going to ease you guys into how potentially brutal this world might be. So outside of that, let's make some mans. So I'm going to give everyone their character sheets now. Oh wait, I've already got them open because I'm a cool guy. Cool guy. Alright, so you... Oh. Okay. Alright, we are almost done, and then we can get started on the good stuff. Alright, so everyone should see their sheets now. First thing that we need to do when making characters. So, in this game, unlike Savage Worlds, you can only play humans. So, no other races other than humans. But you can choose what ethnicity you'd like. We've got an Irishman. Any changes for you two at all?
No, I'm gonna be in European.
European?
No, that matches my accent.
And what about you, drummer? It's gonna be American.
Just American.
Yeah.
Even though I am Canadian, I'll try my best to do the southern bullshit.
Twang. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So traits. So this is basically in this game. the way that it works is I'll pull up this page so everyone can see what I'm talking about. Everyone basically gets attributes. So the way that it works is you have agility, smart, spirit, strength, and vigor, and these represents, the swath of player potential that you have. Everyone starts off at D4, and for every point you put into it, it goes up a dice rank. So D4, D6, D8, D10, and D12. Now, the attributes don't actually do anything in the actual game itself. What they represent is the potential limit of your skills. So, for example, if you put a D6 into smarts, that means any skill that uses smarts has a cap of D6, which is to say you can only level that skill up twice. So that's why if you want to look at your character, you need to sort of take that into account. It's also worth pointing out that the backgrounds that you guys have picked, you need to meet actual requirements. And in some cases, that does include attributes. You can only... It's also worth pointing out you can only level the attributes once every 20 XP that you get. So you'll be roughly getting about maybe 2 to 1 experience points per session. So you can only do it once in that group of 20. So this is sort of like a crucial factor when deciding your character, basically. So you will get 5 points to distribute amongst these, and putting 1 point into it basically means it goes up a rank. So that's what you need to do. So if you want to be particularly good at fighting, for example. Also, it's also worth pointing out that if you open up your character sheet and click all at the end there, you'll basically get the entire sheet opened up for you in one go. So, but fighting, for example, is an agility skill, and strength represents basically how much damage you do with melee weapons and stuff like that. So
we have 5 points to spend.
5 points, yes, 5 points to put into them.
And we put that in the where it says +0?
No. You just click on the rank next to it, and you say to go from D4 to D6 costs you 1 point.
Gotcha.
Yep. But yeah, so the highest it can go is D12, by the way. So is there any particular questions about what those skills represent?
Well, I'm good.
Yeah?
I was just looking through requirements.
Yeah, so if you want to take a look at the edges, not the edges, whatever they're called in this game. Backgrounds, yeah. So
where is that?
Let's take it. It's just a bit further down. So, for example, the miracles background requirements, it has none. So all of you guys are good except for the veteran of the Wild West, which is what you'll be taking, Drummer Boy. You need... I
need Guts D6 and Knowledge D6.
And their skills. So...
okay.
Yeah, so knowledge...
Take those now.
Yeah, knowledge is pretty much like core. I think what's Guts? I think Guts is a spirit. So Guts is spirit, yeah. And knowledge is obviously smarts, I believe. So you need to have at least a D6 in each of those.
Those are listed. Okay, there's Guts.
Yeah, so you basically, if you want to do skills, you just click this core skills, and then you go through the list there. Right. So yeah, wherever you guys, once you guys have put all your points in, let me know where you put them.
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
I put mine in Smarts, Spirits, and Vigor.
What's the highest one?
Smarts and Vigor.
So you put them at D, what, 8?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I put my spirit at D8, vigor at D6, and agility and smarts at D6.
Yeah, that's 5. Yeah, so you can't do a whole lot right now with the attributes, but they mostly just like inform the cap as to where you go. The next thing that we need to do. What about you, Drummer? Where have you put yours? Obviously, you've got...
I'm still looking for the knowledge occult in the core skills. There's nothing like that. There's guts. Guts is
So you can add a non-core skill, which is basically just how you do it.
okay.
Yeah.
So just like occult.
Yeah. Sorry, Speedy. I'm just using your sheet as a training ground right now.
That's fine.
I can't seem to remove those, but that's all right.
Okay. So just another quick rundown. Agility.
Yeah, so
agility, more movement. Smarts is like intellect. Spirit would be
like guts and stuff like that. So guts is actually pretty important in this game because fear is a thing, like a mechanical thing that you guys will have to go through. Guts is definitely a new mechanic in this game.
What's vigor related to?
Health, I believe.
Okay.
Or just like enduring stuff and whatnot. I'm trying to find the actual reading on that so I can actually read them out to you guys. All right. Okay, attributes. So agility is hero's nimbleness, quickness, and dexterity. Smarts is how well your character knows the world and culture, how well he thinks on his feet, and mental agility. Spirit reflects inner wisdom and willpower. It also helps you recover from being shaken, which is, so damage in this game is, everyone has 3 HP, regardless of how many points you put into a thing. And the way that you take wounds is when you get hit, you go to shaken, and then if you continue to remain shaken, the next time you get hit, you'll take a wound. And you can take 3 wounds before you are in the dirt. Strength is raw physical power and general fitness. Strength is also used to generate your warrior's damage in hand-to-hand combat. And vigor represents endurance, resistance to disease, poison, toxins, and how much pain and physical damage your hero can shake off. So just keep that in mind.
Cool. I've got my stuff spent.
Okay. The next, what's your attributes then? Where have you put them?
Agility D6, Smarts D4, Spirit D6, Strength D8, Vigor D6.
Cool. All right. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to spend skill points. Now, much like the actual attributes, you get 1 point for 1 point in the skill. If you do not have the skill in the game, I believe that you roll a -2 when you go to roll it. So you'll be rolling just a straight D6 without a yeah, I'll look that up. I'm pretty sure it's just a straight D6. But with a -2, so that means you'll have to get a 6 to succeed at a check. Because the way that it works in this game is the DC is always going to be 4 for a lot of things. Sometimes it might be higher, like a 5 or a 6. But you will only ever roll your skill and a wildcard dice, which is a D6. And for example, if you have a skill of 12, D12, and you roll it, you get over a 4, perfect. But if your skill is a D4, you can make the check, but you'll be rolling a D4 and a D6. And if either one of those gets a 4 or a 6 or above a 4, then you succeed. And every skill that you roll can also ace, which is to say, if it hits its maximum limit, it explodes, and you roll another dice of that version. So if you have a D4 and you hit a 4, you roll another D4, etc., etc. So you have 15 points to buy your skills. Rating a skill by 1 point, as long as it's no higher than an attribute. But you can go higher if it, like for example, if you cap out at 6 for say, agility, and you want to go higher with your fighting skill, you can. it's just going to cost you 2 points rather than 1 to go up 1 level. Does that make sense? All right.
Does
Yeah.
buying the skill cost 1?
Yeah, buying the skill costs 1, yes.
Where are the skills listed?
You click the core skills button, and then they'll pop open a big list. And you just click which ones you want to show.
Page 44, there is a skill list.
Yes, there is.
And they are explained further in the later pages. No, in prior pages.
Yeah. So, one skill that's separate in this game is shooting, as well as guts. That's the other thing that is also worth pointing out. So, guts is back in this game. The other thing that's worth pointing out, grit, is also a thing in this thing. So every time you level up, like you go from novice to season or veteran to season to blah, 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 you'll get a grit rank, which will add a +1 to your guts roll. So if you go to season, you'll be rolling a +2. If you go to veteran or whatever, you're rolling +3, etc., etc. So leveling up means that you get more attuned to the dangers and stuff that are in the Wild West. Or the Weird West, I should say.
All right, so each skill costs 1 point.
Unless it's above the attribute. So, for example, if your faith is set to a D6, so you can level it up to D6, which is 1 point. But then if you want to go higher, you will need to spend 2 points per level.
All right, so right now my faith is a D4.
Yep. So to go to D6, it'll cost you 1 point. But then after that, if you want to go up another level, it'll cost you 2 points.
Okay, so just to get the faith skill costs me 1 point, right?
Yes.
Okay. To level up to D6 costs 1 point, so that's 2 points there. To go to
the only one you don't have to buy, I believe, is fighting, because that comes default.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
So it's always better to have the skill than to not have the skill. Let me see. I'm trying to work out. So the way that combat works in this game, it's also worth pointing out that. So basically, you roll to hit, which is a character's parry score, and parry is equal to 2 plus half your character's fighting. So if you have a fighting of 12, it'll be 6 plus 2, 8, essentially. So the highest parry you can have is 8, right? That's the target for fighting. And then if you get hit past that, then they will need to beat your toughness. So basically they roll damage, and toughness is 2 plus half your hero's vigor plus armor. So that's the only time that attributes come into play in this game, pretty much, outside of strength as well. So if your vigor is like a D8, it'll be 4 plus 2 for 6, essentially.
Can you look at my skill bar to make sure I did that correctly? I'm pretty sure I only used 15 points.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, you're good. That's good.
Sweet.
Yeah, and let's see. If I'm trying to work out what happens if you don't have the skill. I remember running into this and being like, "Oh, note that down," and then I never fucking did it. I'm always dumb like that. All right,
Hey, the GM.
Yeah, welcome to being the GM. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. It's also worth pointing out that there's a bunch of actions and shit like that that need to happen when you attack and all that shit. But we'll go into that when we actually start fighting and stuff like that.
Is throwing just like throwing anything? People, rocks, whatever?
I believe so, yes. I can double check that for you though.
I like how people is the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanna wrestle a dude, yeah.
Or like throwing
Throwing the
makeshift
little boy.
makeshift bombs. Yeah.
Yo, Malau, get him!
Skill list. Let's take a look. So, what do you want? Throwing?
Hmm. And fighting is free, right?
The first level.
First level.
Throwing governs all sorts of thrown weapons from hand grenades, knives, axes, and spears. Throwing just works like a shooting skill. Uses all the same modifiers, including those for range. Rate of fire of a thrown attack is 1 per hand. Okay. So you can throw 2 things, basically. So it's not throwing people, but, it is.
Throwing at people is fine.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. I'm trying to find.
And that's 15.
All right.
Do I have to like do extra stuff since I'm technically a level above?
You will, yes, but we'll get into that in a second. So I'm just trying to find out where this thing is. Unskilled. I'll just check the index. It'd be a lot easier.
I do have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I took faith and also ritual.
Mm-hmm.
My linked attribute is spirit for those.
Mm-hmm.
For ritual, it says it's a D8, and for faith, it says it's a D6. What is the behind that?
That's weird. Maybe ritual always comes in at a higher, like it's easier to get or something. I don't know. I'll take a look, but just assume that it's wrong. Okay, so
yeah, my base attribute for spirit is a D8.
Mm-hmm. So if a character doesn't have a skill for an action he's attempting, he rolls a D4 and subtracts a 2 from the total. Wild cards still get that wild die for these rolls, which also includes the negative 2 penalty. Cool. So there you go. So basically, you have to get a 6 on a wild card to succeed at an unskilled check. So, okay, cool. So the next part, which is the fun part, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. So languages. Does anyone want to take any additional languages here? Like, do you think your character would have a different language that they know?
Not unless I got it possessed or something.
We'll find out.
Well, it depends on what kind of languages you use in game.
English is normal, the language of the Wild West, but
Probably tribal.
If for example, the game actually states here, if for example you come from a place that doesn't speak English, you can have that language as your default language, but then you can take a skilled knowledge English to make themselves able to talk. If that makes any sense, right? So you can have 2 languages. You can also take knowledge language and just have that as the knowledge that you want there as well. If that's your bag, you can do that too.
Where do we put language in?
If you're not going to learn any other languages, it's just you don't need to put it in anywhere. But if you want to learn another language, you literally have to take the skilled knowledge blank skill.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Language, sorry.
That's fine.
All right. So
Is it just me or is K not on there?
who?
K.
What do you mean K? For knowledge? I don't know what you're talking about.
I can't find knowledge.
It's under non-core skills. So you just add a non-core skill and then you put knowledge blank. So if you want to learn that, that's what you get. So let's go over what everyone's got for the skills. So Spooty, why don't you start?
Yeah, hang on, I messed up. Trash. Get rid of you. Go away. Whatever. Okay, so obviously fighting, I put a point in that.
Mhm.
I took faith. I put quite a few points in that to get me up to D10 because my faith rolls are what drive my prayers.
Yep.
I also took investigation and leveled that up.
Yep.
Riding,
Mm-hmm.
so I can ride horses.
Yep.
Ritual, so I can perform holy rituals. And tracking as well.
So what type of holy rituals are you thinking of taking? Like there are some in
I
there.
don't know.
So
But
rituals
it
are like
seemed like something I would need.
not necessarily. So if you were playing like a voodoo man, for example, then yes, that would replace like your faith, right? Because voodoo is like specifically related to you need to prepare your spells in advance by doing rituals, right? So
you know what? Let me. I'm actually going to get rid of ritual.
yep. So you can have something like gambling is always a good one to have in this in the Wild West.
But
So
I don't think I can gamble. Isn't that a sin?
yeah, but you can still gamble. You can have knowledge of gambling, like you can have knowledge, religion, like you can have things like that. Like,
Is faith itself not a gamble?
he's got you there.
Actually, I think guts. I think I'm going to take guts.
There you go. That's a good one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So, and then you took tracking as well, right?
Yes, tracking. I feel like that's going to be important.
Yeah. Also, for example, you don't have shooting.
Right.
If you wanted
Because
to shoot a gun.
I have prayers.
Okay. Sure. So you're never going to rely on irons, is what you're saying?
I mean, we can add skills later on, right?
You can, but they cost levels. So,
All
For
right,
example,
so let me do...
like what you could do is you could take 1 point out of something and just have shooting.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take 1 point out of guts,
Okay.
and then I will add shooting. I think that's a good idea because I don't want to be like super good at shooting, but I also don't want to just be a complete goober.
Oh, don't worry. No one will be really good at shooting, even if you have a D12.
Yeah.
It's because in order for you to shoot something, you need to beat its parry, basically. So.
Okay.
All right. So drummer, let's talk about your skills, mate. What do you got?
So D4 fighting, D6 guts, D6 intimidation, D6 riding, D8 shooting, D4 streetwise, D4 survival, D6 throwing, and D6 occult.
So that's knowledge occult, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, is it knowledge occult or just occult?
It's knowledge occult, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, very different. Very, very different.
Yeah.
So if it's, is it spirit then that needs to be?
Yeah, I set it under spirit.
Okay, let me just double check.
Either spirit or smarts.
Yeah, let me just double check because there's like extra skills and shit in here.
Because I am not a smart man.
I'm not a smart man.
But you know what love is.
I just felt like running.
Skills. Skill list. Okay, let's take a look. So knowledge is always smarts, so it'll be smarts.
Okay, then I need to... Because I need that in order to be a veteran.
Mm-hmm. It's also worth pointing out that no one has put notice in a skill.
I have.
You have? All right. Well, there you go.
Oh, 500 bits.
Is that like perception?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means I need to rejigger some stuff then. Because I only have a D4 smarts, but I need D6 in knowledge occult to be a veteran.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm going to take 1 out of investigation and add notice.
Yeah, so investigation and notice are pretty much identical, except investigation is like make good use of libraries, read newspapers, basically stuff like that. And notice is like search for items and clues, covers hearing rolls, detecting ambushes, spotting enemies, scrutinizing
I still want
characters.
investigation. I still want investigation, but I'm gonna pop notice in there as well.
Well, I mean, like, part of this game is going to be working out how to kill monsters. So, reading old scruffy texts and stuff like that, and scrolls and books and shit is going to be a thing that happens. So,
Or just use a ghost rag, I don't
Yeah.
know what.
Okay.
So I took out Streetwise so I can afford the extra skill point that I'd need for Knowledge Occult.
You need 2 because your smartest only D4.
Guts, so like 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Okay, cool. Yep, that works for me. All right, and Malau, what you got for me, man? Let's read them.
Well, before I get started, I actually wanted the young hindrance,
Okay.
and that is going to fuck up everything.
We'll get into that in a minute, but what have you got for skills, though? Let's just go through that.
D4 fighting, D6 healing, D4 notice, D6 persuasion, D6 repair, D6 weird science, and a D4 language. Well, knowledge.
Okay, well, what language are you picking?
Danish.
Danish?
Because
So just put
gonna
Danish in
come up
there
a lot.
then, instead of language.
It's gonna come up a lot, the
Yeah.
Danish language.
So, yeah, it's not a generic skill. Knowledge is very specific in this game. So if you want knowledge, it's knowledge something. So,
Yeah, well, knowledge Danish.
okay. All right then. Cool. So the next part for making characters. Where are we going? All right. So basically, all right. So pace is how fast you can move, which is always equal to 6 for humans. Parry, blah blah, would be and all that stuff. Any questions about like toughness or parry or anything like that? It should automatically fill out for you guys on the sheet.
Okay.
But yeah. But yeah, it should automatically fill out. All right, so
So
now
those, if you wanted to increase those, you'd have to increase your base attributes.
or you can take fighting. So for example, parry is always going to be it's half your fighting die plus 2. So parry is related to fighting, and toughness is related to vigor, which is an attribute. So
Cool.
okay, so special abilities, and now we need to decide your flaws and what abilities your hero gets apart from other folks. So here's the thing: in order for you guys to take your abilities, you do need to have at least 2 hindrance points, which is the meat and potatoes of what makes your character your character. You can choose to take any hindrances, but you only gain benefits from the first 3. So you can take a major hindrance and 2 minor hindrances for a total of 4 points. So for example, you can spend 2 hindrance points on raising an attribute dice by 1. So you can take 2 hindrances to make, say, your smarts better, and that will rejig some of your skills, right? Or you can get an edge. And edges are incredibly powerful. Edges are the same thing that gave you your ability to pray and get magic, or go up a level, or become a mad scientist. There are tons and tons of edges. You can take the ones from Savage World Deluxe, and you can also take the ones in the Deadlands Reloaded Player's Guide. There are some exceptions that you can't take, but I'll let you know if you try and take them, if you can't have them. And the other thing, for 1 hindrance point, you can gain another skill point, or you can start with an additional $250, which in this game is a fucking lot of money. So you start off with $250 to begin with, but then you can have additional money. So for example, Drummer Boy, if you wanted better guns because you're a veteran, for example, you could add 1 hindrance point and, take some things. But however, you guys will need to at least have 2 hindrance points because you need to have, everyone is taking an edge. So you need to at least spend 2 hindrance points on that. So we need to decide what type of penalties you guys are going to take on. So let's start off with Malaya, since you actually have already decided what all of your hindrances are going to be, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so why don't you go through them?
I've chosen young, which means I am a young child. Instead of 5 attribute points, I get 3, which I have subtracted.
Oh, what did you take away?
Smarts and just smarts and vigor in the case of this. But I need the vigor for my edge, so I have chosen one of the two to go into vigor into my attribute points.
So, on top of that, you also get 10 skills instead of 15.
Yep, and I get 1+1 Benny possession,
which is really powerful. By bennies, he means fate chips in this game. So bennies are referred to as fate chips as well. So if that's what you're looking for there. So hindrances. So let's take a look at the young. Let's see. What does it actually say in the game? Young. Children are sometimes forced to go on dangerous adventures through unfortunate circumstances. Think carefully before choosing this hindrance, for a youngster starts at a significant disadvantage. Young heroes are generally 8 to 12 years old. In human years, adjust this for aging, whatever. On the plus side, youths like these have a fair amount of luck. They draw 1 extra Benny at the beginning of each game session, in addition to any additional bennies gained from things such as luck or great luck edges. If the character lives long enough to mature, the hindrance doesn't have to be bought off. He's already paid the price for the hindrance by starting at disadvantage. He stops gaining the extra Benny when he reaches 18 years of age. So if you age for whatever reason, tough titties. So, yeah. And what is your minor that you're taking?
Wanted, because I like playing with the Ghost Rocks. Well, I had to make a description for this. Because I wanted to play with Ghost Rock as a smaller child, I have been going around stealing whenever I could get my hands on them, making myself wanted in some cities.
And which book is that from?
The main book.
Okay, so there's also in the Deadlands Reloaded, whether or not your Cowpoke did something wrong, the law thinks he's did. His face is on posters all over the territory, and maybe farther afield too. The nature of the crime is the marshal's sense of sport. And the marshal's sense of sport determines how far and wide the charges may be circulated. But someone somewhere is looking for you, as well as having someone after his hide. Your hombre also has a price on his head. For the minor version, there's a reward of 1d6 x $100. For a major hindrance, up to the bounty as tempting is 1d6 times 1,000. The player and marshal should agree where the bounty can be collected. Okay. So, roll me a 1d6, please.
Well, it's a minor, so isn't that it's a 1d6. Sorry.
Yeah, it's 1d6, yeah.
I just said 1d4.
Okay, so you are worth $500, which is a fuckload of money. Alright, so you've written here, been playing too much with Ghost Rocks, stealing small parts of them to research on. Interesting. Okay. So do you want to put their bounty worth $500? You are wanted mostly in the lower regions, the Confederate States of America, but mostly in California.
Which is there. Okay, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because California... See all that cracked... Here, I'll zoom in on this. I had it open already. Haha, go me. See all this crack shit on the side here?
Yeah.
That is called the Great Maze. California cracked asunder, and basically they are giant gulfs in the land that are filled with ghost rock. But also the bottom is ocean. So lots and lots of nasty sea creatures and shit like that populate that, but the walls are also littered with ghost rock. So that's why you're worth the most over there, just so you know.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on, I guess. Who here has their hindrances done up?
I'm
Oh, wait.
ready.
Oh, real quickly. What did you spend your hindrance points on?
Well, I spent the two of them to get another vigor, and I spent the one on a skill.
So it cost you 2 to get your background.
Oh, so I need one more.
So you can only get 4 points. So it's 2 to use your background,
And then two.
and then you have 2 left over. So you can take another edge, for example, or you can upgrade an attribute, or you can get 2 skill points, or you can get $250, or an extra skill. You know, things like that. So
Yeah, but wouldn't that mean I need an extra hindrance?
you can't take any more. You can take additional hindrances, but you don't get any bonuses for them.
You only have a minor and a major. Couldn't I take 2 minors?
Oh yeah, you can take an additional minor. Yes, you can only get 4 points total.
So the 2 of them to get my background,
So the major gives you 2 points, and a minor will give you 1. So
but 2 to get my background, so 2 to actually just play the game, and then 2 to get my attribute points.
pretty much, yeah.
Okay, well then I just can play the game because, yeah.
You can take another minor. You can find one in there.
Yeah, I know. I already know which one. Bad eyes. So I need glasses.
Man, your character's fucked up. All right, so what is so bad eyes? Let's take a look here. Bad eyes. Bad eyes, minor. Your hero's eyes just aren't what they used to be. With glasses, there's no penalty, and the hindrance is only minor. Should he lose his glasses, generally 50% chance when he's wounded. Oh my god. He suffers a -2 penalty to all trait rolls made to shoot or notice something more than 5 yards distant. In low-tech settings where the hero cannot wear glasses, bad eyes is a major hindrance. Okay, well, we're not in low-tech, so... so just write... you roll a 1d100 every time you're wounded to lose your glasses, and you get a -2 penalty to shoot or notice something.
If I don't wear them.
If you don't wear them, yes. Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, that's pretty cool. I like that. So now that you've got what did you increased your attribute?
I increased vigor,
Vigor?
for future references.
Cool. All right, that's perfect. So you bought a background and you got some vigor. Cool. All right. Unfortunately, you don't get whatever the other one was that you got, which was what, an extra skill?
I wanted an extra edge, and also more skills.
Edges cost 2, so you can't.
Yeah, so I wanted an extra edge, but since I needed 2 to actually get the edge, and then 2 to get the edge.
Man, hey, here's the thing: you picked young. That's on you, dude. That's on you.
Yeah, I know.
Like
You could have been.
you
You
just
could have
like
been 13.
you're just like, oh my god, So you know you can't have it both ways.
Just
So
need to be
either
this
I
tall to
go-
ride.
So either I go down in spirits or smart to go up in vigor, but then my character will basically be useless, or I just take up in vigor and then go and then next time I get the chance, I just take an edge.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. You picked it, not me. Not me.
I know.
Plus, you're a wanted child, man. You're gonna be like the easiest motherfucker in the world to find. So
That's why I have noticed. I can see if people notice me.
yeah. All right. So let's also can I? How do I turn off auto mod? It's so fucking annoying. I've like literally everyone's just like fuck yeah, Deadlands, and I'm just like allow. Fucking, it's the worst thing ever. Oh my god. Anyway, I'm gonna look this up because it's really fucking stupid. But yeah, but look at that. Fook's name gets caught in the auto mod, man. Like, anyway, so yeah, all right, so Spoody, you said you have your stuff ready. So what do you got? What do you got for me?
Yeah, so for hindrances, the first one I took bad dreams. So basically, I don't sleep well. The in-game representation of that is that I begin each session with one less fate chip.
That's huge, dude.
Yep.
Are you sure you want that?
Yeah.
Are you absolutely? I'm just putting it out there, man. Are you absolutely sure that you want that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I get the +1, so I carry him up.
Yeah. See. And then another huge one I took. I don't understand why this is a minor, but I took Lion Eyes, a -2 penalty to all intimidation and persuasion rolls, and -2 to gambling rolls.
So it's kind of interesting because intimidation for you could be very, very useful as a man of faith.
Yeah.
Especially someone who can actually call down the wrath of God. Right. Like that's incredibly intimidating. So you're just gonna look pathetic doing it, basically. So
It's fine.
yeah. So you can take one more minor and get another point if you want. All right, so let's take a look real quickly. Bad dreams. Your hombre doesn't sleep well. In fact, the land of Nod is a constant nightmare for him. He tosses and turns like a demon on a rack, and likely keeps everyone up within a dozen yards of him awake with his nightly torment. I know exactly why that is, and I will tell you in a moment. The Cowpoke begins each session with one less fate chip representative of his constant tired state, and is commutative with bad luck. And your other one is Lion Eyes, which is from this book as well. Lies don't come easy from this hombre, and that sounds all good and noble, but causes problems when dealing with more nefarious types. A hero with his hindrance suffers -2 penalty to all intimidation and persuasion rolls, where lies, even little white lies, must be told. So if you try and make a kid feel better, you won't be able to do it. That's pretty much what that means.
Well, I take a penalty on the roll. That's fine.
Yeah.
So another minor.
You can take them from the Savage World book as well if you wanted to.
Oh, cripes. Let me open that up.
Do you want me to come back to you?
Yeah, come back. Can anyone call out what page they are in the Savage Worlds book?
Yeah, they start on page
28.
Yeah, 28, I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
All right, Drummer Boy, my man. Well, let's get some hindrances out of you.
All right. So you're allowed to major 2 minor?
You can take more, but you only get benefits for having those 4, or 3. So yeah.
Okay, so we'll just keep it at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Bloodthirsty.
Okay. What does that do?
I've got the descriptions of them all in my character sheet. So your hero never takes prisoners unless under direct supervision or of a superior. This can cause major problems in a military campaign. Unless the superiors condone that sort of thing, your killer suffers -4 to his charisma, but only if his cruel habits are known.
That's fucking gross. So charisma is everything in this game when it comes to rolling dice. So basically, you try and convince someone or be nice to someone or negotiate with someone. If people know that you're a bloodthirsty motherfucker, you get a -4 to your roll. That's how bad this is.
That's going to be great because the other ones are also charisma hits.
You're just tanking your fucking charisma. I love it. All right.
I don't even know. So,
what's your next ones?
Enemy. So I have a minor rival. He's trying to kill me basically. Then that's up to you.
Let's take a look here. Enemy. Someone out there hates the character and wants him dead. The value of the hindrance depends on how powerful the enemy is and how often he might show up. A minor enemy might be a lone gunslinger out for vengeance. If the enemy is one day defeated, the GM should gradually work in a replacement, or a hero may buy off the hindrance by sacrificing in advance. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. It's also worth pointing out you can buy off your hindrances, by the way. So.
Cool. Does that affect stuff you buy with your hindrances?
No, you buy them off and then they disappear. So whatever benefits and negatives you get, or benefits or whatever, just go away.
Okay.
So
cool.
that might represent Maleo aging to 18 via science if he chooses not to do that. But he doesn't get... His is so major, in fact, that he doesn't get the bonuses back. So, you know, he's fucking... Oh, man.
I'm forever a child. Yes.
And what's your last one that you got going on there?
Outsider minor. So society made up of a few types of people. Your hero isn't one of them.
An Indian in a Western town, an Indian in a Western town, an alien in a sci-fi game of human marines, blah, blah, blah. Locals are likely to raise prices on the outside, ignore pleas for help, and generally treat him as if he's lower class than everyone else in their society. In addition to role-playing effects above, your hero suffers a -2 charisma modifier among all but his own people. Wow. All right. So how does an American become an outsider in America?
He's been around the block a few times. Maybe he got touched by a weird magic.
Oh, you know what it is? You know what it is, actually? I reckon they mentioned this in Supernatural, so I'm going to borrow it. You never go back to the town that you were in, that you did something in. So I want to assume that you've been around the block enough that you've pretty much visited a lot of the major places. So you did something here, right? So that's what I imagine is the thing.
Yeah,
So.
I've done something everywhere, and people know about it, and they don't like it.
Okay, cool.
Ain't you that guy that burned down the church?
Ain't you the guy that killed my wife? All right, so Spoody, what was your last one that you took?
So last one I'm taking, I think, fits with the priest aspect. It's loyal. I can never leave a man behind. If there's any chance at all, I can help.
And that's it? That's all you get? Yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing.
Major, two minors, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. All right. Cool. So now, because of that, you guys get some points to spend. Now, all of you have spent 2 points already. We'll go over yours here in a hot moment. You know, eventually I'm just going to stop approving your shit, guys. Like, I really am. They're just saying penises and stuff like that in the chat now. So, so for the background edge for yours, the veteran of the Weird West, you have to pull out... so basically, here's what you get. Veterans of the Weird West play at season. So you gain an additional 20 points, which means you get 4 upgrades right now that you can do. So go ahead and advance your character that you normally would right now. So as an advancement, so just mark that you're at seasoned and put 20 in your experience points. You can upgrade one attribute by 1 die type once, and then or you can gain a new edge if you meet the requirements. You can increase a skill that's equal to or greater than its linked attribute by 1 die type. So if your fighting's at 6 and you want to go to 8 and your agility's at 6, you can. You can increase 2 skills that are lower than their linked attributes by 1 die type. So if fighting and guts are lower than the attribute that they're linked to, you can increase both of their skill points by 1 die type. And the last one is the attribute die type. So that's what you can do. You can do 4 of those.
4 of those.
4 of those. You get 1 for every 5 points of experience points you get.
Shit, okay.
It's very powerful. You also gain 1 additional guts because you're seasoned. Sorry, no guts, grit. So not the skill. So this is just a different thing.
Okay.
But grit basically gives you a positive modifier to your guts roll. So if you ever roll guts, you'll be rolling at a +2 instead of a +1 now.
Okay, so I can do an attribute. I can do increase some skills.
Mm-hmm. You can gain a new edge. So any edge in the books whatsoever, as long as you meet the requirements, you can take. So for example, if you wanted to have like guns, like a gunslinging one, you can totally do that. You can take 3. You can take 4 edges if you really wanted to, as long as you meet the requirements.
Yeah, I did take an attribute point already.
So you can only do that once. You can't take any more than that. So what did you? So why don't you think on that a little bit? Because we're going to come... Actually, before you do that, there's a price, though. If you take this edge, you must draw a single card from the action deck, which is this deck here. So all you need to do right now is mouse over, then drag one out for me, please. Actually, real quickly, let me just shuffle. I'll just shuffle everything. Okay, it's all shuffled. So on the the deck of playing cards, just mouse over and drag one out for me.
With left mouse or right mouse?
Left mouse. Yep. Just click and drag.
I'm doing the thing. It's there you go.
Okay. So I will take a look at what that means.
And if you can tell me at all. Oh shit.
We don't get to see what card he pulled?
No, he did. He pulled it out. It was a 2 of diamonds.
2 hearts.
Two of hearts, sorry. Yeah.
But I'm saying I can't see that he pulled that out.
It'll be it's on the map there. You just might not see it.
I see it.
Yeah. Where is this? I got a whole book that I have to go through and find it, so.
Sick.
I'm just going to look at the table. Tables of Doom, that's what it is. Alright, okay. Alright, so you gain a hindrance. This hombre ran into something that jinxed him real bad. He gains the bad luck hindrance. If he had it already, he lucks out. He doesn't get it again. So basically, the bad luck hindrance means that you get 1 less fate die chip at the start of the game, which is fucking insane.
So just add that to my hindrances then?
Yeah, add that to your hindrances. You can buy that off, though.
Yeah, is that a major or minor?
That'd be a major. Let's take a look at
minus 1 fake chip.
Let's see. Bad luck. Alright, bad luck, major. Your hero has a little less luck than most. He gets 1 less Benny per game, or fate chip, and a normal session. And you can never take good luck. It's also worth pointing out that you can't... Yes, there are engines in this game, absolutely. There are 2 states of mind for the engines in this game, the old style and the new style. And we'll go over that in a little bit. So what other edges did you want to... Oh, we'll come back to you when you've decided what edges you want.
I'll just look through.
Yeah. Okay. So, Spoody, what did you want to take? You've got 2 points.
So, okay. 2 points to put into... I guess I didn't quite follow.
Okay, so right now, you took 4... You've got 4 points, right? And 2 of them were spent on making sure that you can have the Blessed trait, which is an edge, okay?
Okay, so I need to add Blessed.
Yeah, so Blessed... so no, not really. We'll just remember that. It's not hard for you to remember that.
Well, I'm gonna write it down.
So just write arcane background miracles. That's what you need to write. Under edges. So if you wanted, so now you can take another edge, or you can raise an attribute of 1 die type, or you can gain 2 skill points, or you can get a $250 to start off.
Yeah, I feel like I want to take another edge, right? Wouldn't that be a good
edges
idea?
are really, really good, man. Like, edges are great, so...
All right, can you come back to me?
Absolutely. And I guess the only person that hasn't done it yet is Drummer Boy, so have you decided on what your upgrades are going to be?
I'm still looking through edges. I got speed load for 1.
Which, let's take a look here.
This means I don't take a penalty for reloading in combat and just take some action.
Yep. So it's also like it's worth pointing out. Let's take a look here. Shooting in this game is a little different. Gunfights. Okay. All right. Reloading. Most guns in the Wild West have to be reloaded the old-fashioned way, one bullet at a time. No tenderfoot. That doesn't mean you spend 6 rounds refilling your hog leg. I've never heard it referred to as that. It does mean that if you empty your weapon, you have to spend a little more time digging bullets out and shoving them in your gun. Anytime your firearm runs out of ammo, your hero must spend an action reloading. He can still shoot in the same round, but he takes a -2 multi-action penalty for shooting. Weapons with reload 2 work the same as described. So yeah. Basically, if a weapon has reload 2, you only take a -2 penalty. And you don't take a penalty to reload your guns and shoot in the same round. So
Cool. I'm taking hip shooting.
Hip shooting. Interesting. What's that do?
Any hombre can fan a single action pistol, but your hero is a natural hip shooter. He suffers only a -2 to his shooting rolls when fanning the hammer.
Okay. So most folks have enough trouble drawing a bead and hitting a target with a single shot. A few supremely skilled shooters can hit their targets while slapping their gun around like a red-headed stepchild. Jesus Christ.
Shit.
And in a fraction of the time to boot. A gunslinger who wants to fan the hammer holds the trigger of a single action pistol down while repeatedly slapping the hammer with the other hand of his gun, with his other hand. Assuming his 6 gun is fully loaded, he may fire up to 6 shots in a single action if taking the automatic fire maneuver. Each shot suffers a -4 shooting modifier, but what you lose in accuracy you make up for by putting lead in the air. So what did that actually do?
So instead of taking -4, I'd only take -2. Sounds like.
That's pretty chunky. So
and I can afford.
You make six
shots.
More, right? Yeah, you make 6 shots at -2 each shot. So that's not bad. All right, so you've got 2 more points to spend.
So is that 2 more edges? Because
you can get 2 more edges, or you can increase a skill, or 2 skills. So, for example, let's take a look at your sheet here. So, to put in a perspective of what you can actually do, you can buy another 2 edges because whatever you like, or you can increase, let's see, riding and shooting up 1 die type right now for 1 upgrade. Or you can increase guts to a D8 for 1 upgrade.
Probably do riding and shooting up.
But no, what I'm saying is any skill that's underneath the cap you can include for, like, you can do 2 of the skills that are underneath the cap.
Okay.
So
riding and shooting, that's 1, so I need 1 more. I can get 1 more, so either an edge or a skill again.
Yep. Or so you can either increase a skill above its cap limit, or you can increase 2 skills that are underneath the cap limit. So, for example, you could do fighting and riding, or you can do fighting and throwing. They're 2 skills that you don't have at the cap limit.
Yeah, that might actually be better than. Actually, is there edges that raise those anyway, or no?
No. There might be, but you can take a look at that. But okay. It's also worth pointing out that your parry score is your fighting score. So increasing that is still always a good thing to do.
Okay, I'm gonna see if there's an edge that does that.
Mm-hmm. Sure, go for it. Let's see. Let's take a look. I just want to double check that shooting. So let's take a look here. Attacks. Okay. The shooting skill covers everything from pistols to rocket launchers. The base target number to hit something at short range is 4 as usual. Shots at medium range subtract 2 from a shooting roll. Shots at long range subtract 4. So basically, in order to shoot, if you shoot a gun, you don't need to beat someone's parry score because you just shoot them, essentially.
Sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how that works. You love how the book reads very old school? Yeah. It's a cool book. It's very, very cool. So Spoody, have you decided on what your edge is going to be?
Yeah, I'm going to take Knack.
Knack. Interesting. Which one is that in? Which book?
It's in the Deadlands book. The requirements are wild card and novice, which I believe I have. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just take a
I
look.
saw a thing set to wild card on my character sheet.
Yeah, so wild card just basically means a player character or an enemy of power. So.
Okay. And the knack that I'm going to take is Born on Christmas. A babe born on Christmas is particularly resistant to arcane effects powered by evil spirits. As such, your hero can only use miracles and shamanism arcane backgrounds, which I am. If you want to take a different... when targeted by a power from any other arcane background, a hero with this knack can discard a fate chip to negate the effect and force the caster to make a spirit roll of -4 or be shaken.
Now, did you want to change your hindrance? Because I know that you take a negative penny because of that.
No.
No. Okay. It's interesting. So what page was that knack on?
40.
40. Okay. I was
40. Wait, no, 40. Yeah, 40. Page
oh, yeah,
40.
I see it. Yep. All right. When targeted by a power from another arcane background, hero with this knack can discard a fate chip to negate the effect and force the caster to make a spirit -4 roll or be shaken. Interesting. That's cool. That's pretty. I mean, that puts you pretty close to God as well, if you think about it. So that's not so bad. He's Jesus. That's it. That's it. He's Jesus. Drummer boy, what do you got for me? Anything?
I'm putting the Christ in Christmas.
I'm still looking through to see if there's any edges that increase parry. I don't see any.
Weapon Master and Master at Arms, but that's legendary.
Yeah. Whatever. I'll just do fighting and riding for.
And
skill
block.
ups.
You can take block that parries +1. If you have fighting of a D8.
He doesn't.
No. All right, we'll just do fighting and riding.
All right, cool. So, the next step, ladies and gentlemen, on making some hombres is...
I didn't get to make mine.
you already did yours. Right?
Not seasoned.
What do you mean?
Didn't we get up to seasoned?
No, he took a background to get to seasoned. So
Yeah, veteran brings me to seasoned.
Yep.
I'm
It also gives me weird shit.
I just did.
Yeah. So if you did an upgrade, you should take all that shit back.
Yep. I'm on it.
Cool. All right. So
was that card the only one I need to take?
yes, you only get one.
Cool. And all things considered, bad luck. It's minus a fate chip, but
Fate chips are very important. You'll see why.
it's not like it's minus a billion charisma like I already have.
Hey, you brought that on yourself, mister.
I didn't know how important that shit was. Whatever.
All right, so now you each get $250 to spend. You guys can worry about that on your own time. Shopping is boring as fuck, so you can do that after the session and do whatever you like. It's $250. The complete list is on page 55 through 57.
Is there a place to mark down how much money we have?
250. On the top.
Yeah, there should be on the top.
Money.
Underneath the XP and rank. So.
Got it.
All right, now the last thing I need from everyone is your worst nightmares.
Where do we put those?
Well, you can go to the tab at the top there, or you can put it into the notes, or you can put it into, anything really. As long as I can find it on the sheet. Probably physical appearance and personal history. I'd put it into that actually. So basically, finally think on a bit on what really scares your hero, what he's really afraid of, and why. Now think about what kind of dream makes him wake up in the cold sweats of night. Write it down. No reason why. No reason why. I just want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
For no reason. For no reason.
Just to make sure, is it all of us or just him?
Every single one of you needs to tell me what makes you quiver in your boots. I want to know. I want to know your worst nightmares. I don't know why. I don't know why it said you're like. So Fook just said that her worst nightmare was having a bowl of nachos tip on the ground, and the auto mod's like, can't talk about wasting food.
It might have think bowl topples was dough bowl topless.
God damn it. That's so dumb.
Whatever. Maybe mine would be being buried alive.
Why is that?
Somebody probably tried it on him before. It almost worked.
Are you claustrophobic?
This is probably part of it. Like being in enclosed spaces and like not being able to breathe, but like specifically being nailed into a coffin and dropped 6 feet under and covered in dirt.
Interesting. I kind of wish you got a different fucking role on your thing, but all right. Actually,
Well, them's the breaks.
you know what we'll do? I'm gonna fucking do this. I'm gonna do this. Draw 2 more cards from there, and we're gonna take the highest one out of all of that.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
It can be good. Remember that. It can be
Oh
good.
my god. There's a Joker and a 5. Do Jokers get redrawn, or are they in the...
No, they don't. They don't get redrawn. Oh boy.
If this fucks me, so help me God.
You're fucked.
Alright, hold up.
This is the definition of GM bullshit. Hey, just take some extra cards. We'll take the highest one and you'll call it fine.
Okay. Alright. Okay. That's fine. So yeah, you actually took that dirt nap for real. And that's why it's your worst nightmare.
Okay.
Like
Is
someone
this one of the ones that like you can't get into details about what this means?
pretty much, yeah. So take away that bad luck hindrance.
Oh, great.
So basically, I like the idea that you got into a duel, right, by another gunman, for whatever reason. Why would you get into a duel with this man?
Any number of
Like a
reasons.
showdown.
Maybe it was over a lady. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Maybe. It's been in the Wild West long enough.
Okay. So, and you both shot, and you swear to God you got him, but you got gunned down real good, knocking you unconscious. You woke up in a box, and you pull your lighter out, you flick it on. You're inside a coffin, my man, in the dirt. You spend a couple hours kicking and screaming, you know. It even has a little foot pedal at the bottom that rings a bell to say that, yo, I'm not dead.
Yeah.
But no one answers. And after a while, you get fed up. Your oxygen's running out. You feel like you're breathing heavily. And you basically Kill Bill your way out of this bitch, you know? It's raining, thundering when you come up, and he's like, ah, you know, you come up out of the dirt, and yeah, that's how you got your worst nightmare.
Sweet. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And
All right.
That might, well, I don't know. If that person learned, like, they'd obviously come back and see the grave is open. That might be like my minor enemy kind of person.
Yeah, maybe.
Killed you once.
That's it. Yeah. It's also worth pointing out that this wound that you got, where did he shoot you?
Probably like straight through the heart,
Interesting.
like chest wound kind
Like
of
a
thing.
chest wound. Yeah.
Yeah.
It never quite heals right. Like it's like, you always sort of open it up and it always bleeds and shit like that or whatever.
Always weeps. Weeping heart syndrome because I got shot and killed over a lady.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's gushing blood or whatever. It just never quite like heals right, and you always sort of tear the stitches or whatever.
It's like that weird. You ever seen like a weird misshapen lemon that has like the bubbly skin? It's like that.
A little more
Callousy and scabby.
a little more raw than that, but yeah, you get the idea.
Mm.
That's cool. All right. So
Henley, can I ask, do the party know each other before we start the adventure, or do we have
I
to
will
introduce-
handle that, my man. I will handle that. Have a little faith.
I will. I'm just making sure.
Why would you make it more graphic? Because this game is about graphic.
Yeah, actually, you know what? It's not very healed over. It kind of looks like someone put a firecracker in a pot roast.
Yeah. Okay, so Spoody, what's your worst nightmare?
Father Tom's worst nightmare is being covered in insects. He is terrified of them.
Interesting. Are we talking like any insect or a particular?
Mainly cockroaches.
Ooh, yeah, that's some nasty shit. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So, is it all insects or just sort of
I'm
weird
saying
you out?
mainly. Well, they weird me out, but like, if I see a cockroach, it's like, I don't care how big and bad I am, I would like run away from it.
Okay. Yeah, sure, man. Absolutely. And Maleo, tell me, what gets under your character's skin?
Well, after many times climbing in the rocks with one of his prior friends, he saw his never to be heard from again. So
Sorry, you completely froze there. So you saw what?
I saw my old friend, well, young friend since I'm young, fall down the rocks on the mountains, most likely in California, where we stole their ghost rock to research them. So he fell down through the mountains, never to be seen again. So his worst nightmare would for that to happen to him.
Okay. Sure. Okay, so here's the thing. We're gonna take a quick break right here. And gonna come back with small character introductions because we won't be able to play right now because that's just how it is. But we are going to do character introductions as to how all your characters meet up and that sort of stuff. And then we'll go from there. Many thanks to our Patreon supporters for this week's episode. Head on over to patreon.com/Henley to support the growth of Die Hard. So, we've made our cowpokes, we've made our cowboys, we've made our loose cannons on the prairie, and now it's time to introduce those hombres. So, before in front of each and every one of you is a gentleman. You're in a room with him. There is a single light dangling above. The man is dressed like your average G-man. I say average because lately you guys are seeing a lot more of these types around where you used to be. And every single one of you is in your own interview room, but the same man is interviewing every single one of you. So just imagine it like he's asking you all the same question at a different point in time, basically. And he opens up a small folder and licks his finger, starts going through the papers. He takes his time. He takes a small sip of water that he has there on the table, puts it back down. He's very methodical, and he keeps going through his papers. It's a long while with you sitting there, and he finally closes the papers and looks up at you, takes off his glasses, and says, "So, I want to know from your own mouth how it is that you ended up here. After all, we can't willingly accept people in just because they've seen some stuff. They have to be made of the right... They have to be made of the right caliber. We're not just looking for every old person to join the ranks of our glorious organization." So, let's start off with Sputnik. What is your character's name?
Father Tom O'Malley.
And what does he look like?
He is barrel-chested, probably about 6 foot tall, weighs about 230. Intimidating in a back alley if you ran into him, but actually quite nice and giving and a good person to have on your side. He's extremely faithful. He is a priest. He takes the fact that he was born on Christmas Day as a personal sign that he was born into his faith. He didn't need very much nudging or pushing, or his parents dragging him to church. I mean, he spent as much time in the church as he possibly could, any free moment that he had.
Yeah. So you start to recount this tale, and we join you in your reminiscent period in the town of Prescott, Arizona.
Yep.
You have a little church there, and you have your own flock. Now, you're in the middle of a sermon, going about your daily business. But why don't you give us an idea of what that sounds like? What are you preaching to your flock today on this holy of days?
What day is it?
It's Sunday, my man.
Well, I know it's Sunday. What time of year is it? That
Probably.
There's a Catholic calendar that the priests follow, so the time of year would determine the sermon.
Probably around March, February, I would say.
Okay, so Lent. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So he's saying things like, "My dear faithful, as much as our Lord suffered before he was taken off of this earth, before he could be given back to us, we here now must suffer as well. We all must determine what vices do we have that hold us back in our lives. What holds us back from our faith and from our God? We must, in this time of Lent, determine what vices that we love and dear and hold close to our hearts, what vices will we sacrifice as just a small token of appreciation and faith for our Lord and our Savior, to show that we love him for what he gave up for us."
So
remember. Oh, God.
Yeah,
that's all I got. Thank you for stopping me.
So it's worth pointing out that there's another father here, a young man, probably in his early 20s, like 21-ish, who joined the Brotherhood, joined the faith. He's not here today. His name is Father Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not joined you today, which is odd considering he's been pretty overbearing with his faith. Overbearing in the ways that he sees his calling to power as something that he can actually manifest. But he's never been able to do it thus far. You haven't been able to do it either. It's worth pointing out. Like, you've never been able to like pray for salvation and get it. You're not a man of miracles or anything like that right now. But you've heard stories, at least amongst your flock, of stranger things happening, and you tell them to pay no mind because that is the work of the devil. But the absence is highly noted to you, at least for Father Matthew not being here.
Okay. So
you finish your sermon, and at the end of your church, the wooden doors creak open, and in walks Father Matthew. He looks to be covered in dirt. Travel dirt, not like rolling around, and he's not covered head to toe, but he looks like he's been on horseback, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also wearing a bandolier, and he has 2 6-shooters on his sides. Huh. And he comes striding into the church, and
all the parishioners are still here and everything.
Yep, they're deep in prayer, or they start looking up and murmuring amongst themselves. And he walks into the room, and he's like, "Well, if it isn't the flock, and if it isn't Father Tom."
Father Matthew, I'm glad you've joined us. Just now, where have you been?
Oh, don't matter about that, Father Tom. It's not really anything that you need to worry yourself on. You see, Father Tom here, and he like turns, wide and opens his arms and sort of addresses the flock, who now, for the most part, he has their attention. He's like, Father Tom here is a man of faith, but he is not a man of power. He does not talk to God like I do. What he says about Lent, what he says about his ambitions, and what he's done in the past, they are what hold this man back. He is not true to our faith, like I am. And he draws the pistol from his holster, and he pulls the hammer back. And some of the faithful in your flock start, murmuring. And one stands up and he's like, "Sit down. I'm not done with my sermon yet." And, the guy with the top hat sort of sits back down and sort of slinks a little lower. And he turns back to the crowd and is like, "If he was really a man of power, he could do something about this." And he pulls the gun up and shoots one of the faithful in the head. And he goes down, or she goes down, and starts bleeding out on the floor. And it's like, the flock starts screaming and running for the door. And with a flick of the wrist, the door slams shut and locks. And the flock start banging on the door, and they can't get out. And, he leans back, pulls out the other 6-shooter, and he says,
I mean, at this point, am I not running towards him right now to try to stop him?
I mean, you can. But, this is sort of like a plot sequence. So think of this as a quick time event, right?
Yeah.
You try and get close to him, right? If that's what you do, yeah? You try and run at him to tackle him, to do whatever. Yeah. And you try and tackle him, but he's like a pillar of concrete. You slam into him, and maybe even your shoulder dislocates as you do so. And you fall back down. He's like, "Father Tom, I'm not quite ready for you yet." And he starts basically shooting into the crowd of the flock that's trying to get out of this door. Press X to Jesus, yeah. And half of the flock dies, right? And some of them are like screaming, and a few people fall to their knees and start praying to Jesus. And then he says, "In order for you to see the holy gates, you must first bear witness to trial." So he goes back over to the woman that he shot in the head before, and he grabs something around his neck, and he whispers something, and puts 2 fingers on her forehead, and she raises back up from the dead.
This is the devil's work, Matthew.
Hush now. This is God's work. And Martha, thank you for the inspiration in the chat there. Martha looks around. She's like, "What happened?" And she sees some of the flock, the dead on the floor, and she sees others going back and recoiling in fear, and some are saying, "It's a miracle! Father Matthew must speak to God himself." And Martha goes to join the rest of the procession, and as she gets close to another person, she grabs them with an unbelievable amount of strength and starts to bite into them, clawing away at the flesh on their necks and drinking deep on their blood. And then Father Matthew goes to another practitioner on the floor, grabs the thing around his neck, whispers something, and puts 2 fingers on their head. Once again, raises from the dead and starts to feed on the living. Those that were fed upon continue to come back and feed upon the living. And Father Matthew, standing in the middle of the church, surrounded by pews covered in blood, and a helpless Father Tom on the floor, starts to laugh, a maniacal laugh, something that only would come from those acquainted with the devil. And he says, "See, Father, this is the power of the Almighty. I can bring back the dead. I can make them see what's on the other side and show them what they're really missing out on."
All you're doing is using the devil's power here. Look at what they've done as they wake up. They're murdering the rest of our flock.
Murdering? No. They're simply showing them salvation. Nothing.
What happened to you? Brother Matthew, what happened to you?
I found God, Father. And at that moment...
What God?
At that moment, the door kicks open, and in strides a man, dusty from the road, with a silver badge on his chest. He moves the cigar from one side of his mouth to the other, and pulls out two pistols and starts to shoot down everyone in the church, including Father Tom, who, for the most part, reflects most of the bullets. Like, kind of like they go into him, but they fall to the floor. He then drops the guns to the ground and pulls out a stake or something along those lines, and he runs up to him and starts engaging him in melee combat. But he's actually attempting to just go for the trinket around his neck. He manages to get it off of him after they struggle a bit, and the moment it's removed, he basically pushes the stake into Father Matthew's neck, and basically he gurgles out his last breath. He stands up, breathes a sigh of relief, and then he sees you on the ground, and he tips his hat to you, and he's like, "Father?"
I make the sign of the cross. Say, "Gods be praised." You've arrived just in time.
Oh, you shouldn't be thanking God. You can thank the Texas Rangers for this.
I blush and go, oh. God bless the Texas Rangers, even in Arizona.
So he's holding this like piece of wood in his hands that's surrounded, like it's basically attached to like a metal chain that was around Father Matthew's neck, and he takes it and he throws it on the ground, and he lights like a box of matches, and he throws it on the wood, and it goes up in a blue smoke, and he starts to stride out, and then he stops and turns back, and he's like, Father, perhaps teaching a small flock out in the middle of Arizona isn't really what you're needed for.
I serve my God and my Lord. What else could I possibly do?
He starts to turn around again, and over his shoulder he says, there are more of what happened here going on in a lot of places around America. Both the Union and the Confederates have to deal with this sort of stuff. It would seem that your God have turned a blind eye to what's happening here.
A man who turns a blind eye turns his eyes away from the Lord.
Perhaps. We're in dire need of people who are willing to put up a fight. Does that sound like something that you would do, Father? Would you fight for this land?
For this land and my God.
It's all the same to me.
Because certainly the work of the devil.
He like pulls out of his coat a card, and he says, be there in a month's time. And on the card, it gives you a location, and it also says Dallas, Texas, which is 2 states over. Lucky for you, there's a new train line that just got set up, so shouldn't be too hard to get there. But there are like-minded individuals waiting for you.
Aye.
So, and then he like walks out, stepping over the corpses of the people in the room. He's like, as he leaves, he's like, perhaps you should burn this church too.
Why would I burn the church?
He, you see him get on a horse outside, and puts his hat back on his head. He's like, well, we can't have people finding out what actually happened here. Fear does a great many things to people's hearts. I'm sure you understand that as being a man of faith. Talking about the devil isn't always the best thing to do.
If people don't know the devil exists, then he takes them by surprise.
The devil exists, and he walks among us on the prairies. I've seen him.
And you survived.
Texas Rangers are hard to kill. Good day, Father. And then he like whips his horse, yeah, and goes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Malau.
Yeah, that me.
The G-man in front of you finishes reading over your file. And he raises an eyebrow at you, and he's like, yeah, a man comes into the room, and he whispers something to him. He's like, something along the lines of, are you sure? He is very young. And he's like,
Age has nothing to do with power.
so he sort of sits up a little bit of what you said, and he's like, all right then, boy.
Boy? You can be the boy here.
Why don't you tell me about how you found your way to this safe house, and we can start from there. I want to hear it from the horse's mouth, as it was. So why don't we get a description of your character and his name?
His name is Lester Stark, also known as Hawkeye because he's using glasses. All the references in one character. That's good. He is very short, reaches 140 height, being a child.
I mean, he's fucking 13
normal.
years old, so, you know.
So that's pretty normal. He was raised in where his mother...
Raised where? Sorry, you froze.
I was raised in Denmark, where his mother lived. Going to travel, she met an American man, and we settled in America, talking both Danish and English, learning both language through that. And he basically just, in California, it's gotta be somewhere, since that is where I got my first hench of the ghost rocks, where I noticed that they had some strange happenings whenever you did something specific to them. Going out to search for more of these rocks together with a friend from the village. We got lost in the mountains trying to get back. I was the only one who actually got back. Bit backstory. With a bag full of these ghost rocks. Forbidden to ever get back there, and desperate to get more so I could research them, or in my tale, play with these rocks to know what they do.
I'm going to alter your backstory real quick.
Yeah.
All right, so we join you as you reminisce in the maze of California. Now, the maze of California is basically the whole west coast of California was when the Great Quake hit. The California was hit the hardest, and most of California has been hit with an earthquake that basically cracked apart the earth itself. Now, the whole west coast of California is filled with these giant chasms that lead all the way to the ocean. Within the chasms themselves, great many creatures, including dragons, sea serpents, prowl the oceans looking for unsuspecting miners and people brave enough to go search for ghost rock, which is the new valuable coal-like substance that appeared in its wake. Basically, it's coal that has little streaks of white in it. It burns significantly hotter and longer than any coal currently known to man. Part of the reason as to why it does that is because it has air pockets within the actual mineral itself. So you can light it on fire, put it under water, and it continues to be on fire even in water, because of how hot it burns, and it has its own supply of oxygen and all that sort of stuff. So, as you said, you are scaling the walls of the Californian maze, looking for your first hint of real wealth. You got a hold of some ghost rock earlier in your life, probably from some sort of trinket, maybe like a radio or something like that, had a small piece of it in there that you broke down and took out and toyed with and realized it had great scientific potential. You're a genius boy at birth, and what made it happen? What happened to bring your parents out of the picture? Like, why would a 13-year-old boy be so able to do whatever he likes? Or a 12-year-old boy, I guess. So.
We lived far out on the edge before when did this quake happen?
About 10 years back.
Okay. So we lived on the edge of this of the Californian coastline. When the quake happened, the entire house just collapsed while I was on visit on my grandmother on my father's side. We lived inside the country. Maybe
let me just double check when that so 10 years back. Yeah, in 1868 specifically. It's also worth noting that this game takes place in 1879, so technically 11 years ago.
Well, it doesn't really change much. Being on visit on my grandmother on my father's side, while it happened, they heard this quake trying to get back through my parents. Though my parents' house wasn't there, it was sunken into one of the creeks.
Crevices, yeah.
Crevices.
Crevices, not crevices. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Crevices, yeah.
Grandparents too old to actually raise me. They sent me off to a orphanage where they didn't really take notice to this smart boy because the other guys were bigger troubles than me.
All right.
So I
Cool.
got free range to run around.
All right. So, yeah, you're with right. So basically, we join you. You're on abseiling or sort of climbing down this one of the great crevasses, and one of the other girls from the orphanage, Chow Mao, has a very she's pretty intelligent. She's an intelligent girl. She's a little older than you. She's probably around 15. She has a great respect for the ghost rock that's appeared, and much like you, she hungers for more knowledge about this sort of stuff. So you guys are you're basically climbing this down this crevasse yourself, and Chow Mao's like, sorry, it's California's filled with Chinese martial artists and stuff like that. Basically, all Eastern and foreigner types go to California, basically. So excuse my subtle racism here, but this is what the game is. So you'll be like, what is your character's name?
Lester.
Lester. All right. Can you change your name in Roll20 then?
I can.
Well, be careful, Lester. Don't fall down. And get as much as you can. I know you have small hands, but I know you can do it.
I will. Just wait a second. Trying to pick more of it out.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's there's tons of ghost rock down here. Just absolutely lots of it. And eager to fill up the containers that you brought, she slings down to you a backpack, a satchel, I guess, like a and asks you to fill it up as much as you can.
Filling it up as much as I can, as we do to get the most information out of it.
Yeah, so you're there for a while doing that sort of stuff, and you two are excitedly talking about basically what you're going to be doing with this ghost rock and what experiments you're going to be running first. When your conversation is broken up by a loud growling sound that's coming up from the cliff face above you.
Oh shit! I think we need to get out of here now.
Lester, I just say, oh shit! And we basically hear the sound effect of what is essentially like a tiger, almost, attacking Chow Mio, and her screams basically fill your eardrums, and then we hear a struggle, and she starts to fight back, and a rock or something like that lands in the water on the other side of the crevasse that you're at. Do you ascend from your cliff face?
I would try to get up to help her.
All right, so so Chalmia basically stands up from where she is. her clothes are ripped completely apart. She is bloody, bruised, and she has bite marks all over her. She is. This is probably the first time you've seen a any sort of naked female before in your life, and she notices you staring as well. So, against all of your better judgment, she slowly saunters over to you, like bleeding profusely from all of her wounds, and rubs her hand on your head in a very seductive manner, like incredibly seductive, and she basically says to you, "Lester, I've noticed you staring. Perhaps we should take this opportunity to, while we have a quiet moment to ourselves, explore other things."
No, you're just attacked by what sounded like a tiger. No, we need to get you back to town.
She smiles as the blood drips down from a gash on her forehead over her lips, and she licks her lips and says to you, "Don't worry about the blood. It is something that can be overlooked." And she starts to take off the rest of her tattered clothing.
I would take off my. I feel like I have some kind of a jacket on. I'll take the jacket off to kind of wrap around her to cover her up.
The moment you start to take off your jacket, she pushes you to the ground and will climb upon you as a woman in heat might do. Or in this case, a tiger in heat. At that moment, she goes in to start kissing your neck, and that's when her body falls limp on you, and the sound of a gunshot rings out around the field that you're in. As basically the front of her head explodes in a gory mess. She then stands. She turns around angrily and hisses at the stranger that appeared in the silhouette of the sun.
Didn't she just get her head blown out?
Yep.
But she looks around.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and she basically says, "You will not take him away from me." And all this while, like, basically a quarter of her head is missing. And
I think I want him to take me away from you.
And then he continues to shoot her, like, just continually. Like, she basically just recoils back. She continues to get shot, and he can... she basically takes, like, another 5 bullets all over her body. And she stands up again. She's like, "You will not take him away from me." He drops his pistol onto the ground. He pulls out a second one and fans the hammer into her 6 more times. Basically, you can see through her now. So we basically get the camera shot as you on your back, basically covered in blood from head to toe. And she's basically naked. So we get to see her back, basically, and holes littered all over her body. And you can see through them to this man who now drops his other one. And from his back, he takes off his duster, his leather jacket that he has on, and he pulls out this giant sword, probably about like a bastard sword size, and it's wet, it's dripping with something, and she screams and runs at the man, and he stabs her through the neck, and she falls down. And then, while she's on the ground, he basically stands over her and violently stabs her over and over and over again with his sword.
As she's getting impaled by the sword, I would just scream out, "No!"
Do you do anything other than scream?
lay down in just fright and shock and whatever. I'll just lay down there, not knowing anything, if I can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just laying down there and just screaming out as I can basically just see my best friend getting stabbed after she tried to seduce me.
So yeah, the man stands up and takes the sword. He picks up some of her discarded clothing and wipes the rest of her blood off of the sword and puts it back into its cloth container that he was that he takes out basically some cloth and he wraps it around the blade, and he slings it back around his shoulder, and he picks up his hat that was blown off and puts it on her head. I imagine maybe you might scramble over to her corpse or something like that.
Yeah, as he is preparing or getting ready or cleaning himself up, I would do that to see if she was still alive in some way with 20 holes in her.
She looks very twisted and evil and old. Old, yeah. She looks like someone mummified her. She's basically like a husk, and like everything is sunken in her body and all that sort of stuff. And without turning around, the mysterious man who had a badge on his chest, I forgot to mention, mind you, he says,
"Wouldn't notice anyway.
Your friend's corpse is actually in the sea below."
I just look back. Rock fell. Not her.
No, that was her.
But that was a rock.
Kid, let me tell you something. This world is going to eat you up if you stop thinking with your brain. It's just going to destroy you. A lot what you're going to see out here in this place now is not going to make any sense to you, even if you are smart.
But
you can read all the books you want, and it's not going to tell you what it is that just ate your friend.
what did just eat my friend?
It's called a gaki.
Gaki?
Basically, it's a demon spawned out of the Great Crevasse here. Takes on the form of people and tries to eat their hearts.
Okay.
So he goes down to kneels down to you and he basically slaps you across the face with the back of his hand, and he's like, "Listen here. Now I can send you the way of your friend if you want, because right now there are two options for you. Either I put you in the drink with your friend, or you man up and you face what's really out there."
I look behind me, looking through where she supposedly fell. I don't want to go down there again. I think I got what I needed. Who pulls up the bag filled with the ghost drugs? Yeah. I think I'll take the living way, if that's okay.
Where are your folks?
A point behind me through the crevice. Kinda down there.
He doesn't even squint or do any facial changes. So what are you, an orphan?
Yeah. I got my grandmother, I think.
You know what you hold in your hands there, kid?
Rocks that glow underwater? Especially on fire. That's cool.
That's ghost rock. That stuff's...
I just called them fire rocks because they fire.
No, they're ghost rocks. And if you continue to fuck with them, they're going to fuck with your brain.
I think that's a bit too late now.
So he bends down and he pulls out a card out of his pocket, and he hands it to you, and he says, "It might not be much, but there are people that have seen what you've seen. And they might have answers for you, because I'm not going to give you any."
Then I won't question. Are you sure? Have you done this a long time?
It's at that moment you notice that he's wearing a badge for the Texas Rangers on his chest. And he looks down at you and he's like, "Enough to know that you're wanted." For a kid, that's pretty impressive.
I wanted to try the ghost rocks out a bit more than fire.
Well, maybe you can work off that bounty of yours. Go to Dallas.
Last time I checked, it was 300.
I've got 500 here.
Ooh, Rose.
Go to Dallas, kid.
Okay.
Go to Dallas. Tell them what you saw here. And maybe, just maybe, they'll put you to work.
I'll do my best. Can I take this with me? I point to the bag.
He grabs the bag and he throws it into the water.
No!
Kid, you shouldn't concern yourself with that sort of stuff. You'll lose your fucking mind if you keep fucking with it.
But it summons stuff.
Go to Dallas.
Okay. Sorry, I will do.
So he will get onto his horse and he'll say, "There's a caravan not too far from here. Get on it. Tell them that the marshal sent you. They'll take care of you. They'll take you to Dead End. From there, you can ride all the way to Dallas."
Okay.
And then he'll put on his hat again and, right off into the sunset.
Bye. See you later. Maybe later.
And for our last character introduction, we see Drummer Boy's character sitting in the room with the G-Man. I like the idea that this is a staring contest to some degree. And, he finishes his sip of water and he puts it down. He's like, "So I'd like to hear from your mouth how exactly you managed to make it to Dallas." Do you say anything to that at all?
Do they have smokes?
You can have smokes, yeah.
Or probably just just maybe I'll finish the entire smoke just staring at him. Yeah.
One pull, one drag.
Yeah. I assume you already know.
I want to hear it from your mouth.
Why?
Let's just say paper doesn't always give the right information. They might have left something out. So, as you start to reminisce, what does your character look like and what is his name?
His name's Billy Hawkins, William Hawkins, but people call him Billy. He kind of looks like a mix between Bruce Campbell and Gary Busey.
Bruce Campbell actually helped make this game.
Sick. That's great. So he's got kind of the face of, or the head shape of Bruce Campbell, but the face of Gary Busey.
Wow. No wonder your charisma's in the fucking toilet.
Yeah, he's got like that crazy eye a little bit and like a big bushy mustache that like comes down all the way down. He's like 33 years old. He's kind of an old man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's the middle of the gosh dang night. You're out here in fucking Texas, bumfuck nowhere, tracking down a chupacabra.
Mm-hmm.
This little monkey ass motherfucker has been causing mischief, eating people's livestock, that kind of stuff.
It pays well enough, so.
Well, I mean, most people don't even know what it is that you're hunting. And it's not like you can tell most people either, because you bring back a monkey-looking thing, they don't take you seriously.
Mm.
You mostly do it because the abominations need killing. And there's not many folk who go out their way and do it.
Yeah.
So you see, you're making your way along a dusty trail. You don't have a horse with you, so you lost that. The fucking chupacabra got it when you last made camp.
Damn it, Nancy!
Damn it, Nancy! But you see a campfire off in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
You make your way over, and there's a gentleman there sharpening a bowie knife around the campfire with a small stew cooking, and his horse basically munching on some hay.
You know, there's a monkey thing out here, right?
The man sharpening the bowie knife sort of looks up, flicks his hat up a little bit, and he's like, "Yeah, I heard something about that. Why don't you take a seat?"
I'll like kind of give him the ones like a look up and down and just like dust off and sit down, kind of like sit down opposite him. Like
yeah. There's a log over the other side that you can sit down on.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Name's William."
No shit. Same.
I'm actually not making that up. This character's name was William the entire time. This is the first time I heard the character's names, by the way. So,
Yeah.
So he sort of cracks a white toothy grin, and he's like, "Well, that'll be. What are you hunting? Some cheaper what now?"
Yeah, chupa la cabre, chupa trupa.
Mm-hmm. And why would that be a concern of mine, sir?
Usually folks don't like heading out after dark,
Blows the the whetstone markings off his bowie knife, and he's like, "Most folks can't really handle themselves anyway."
True enough.
And then he walks over to the horse, and he takes the saddle off the horse, and he starts to he spits on a rag, and he starts to wipe down the saddle, and he sort of looks over the stew, and he's like, "You hungry there, Billy?"
I could eat.
Go right
Gotta
ahead.
take chances when you got them, right?
Yeah. Just save some for myself, would you?
Yeah. Well, like I've probably got like a can that I carry around.
Yeah.
It's like survival stuff, so I'll just like spoon like a few spoonfuls into the can.
Mm-hmm.
Just
yeah. And then he
and then I'll like reach into my bag a little bit,
mm-hmm.
pull out a flask, like got something good in the town back. Tit for tat.
Yeah, he'll accept you throwing it over. He'll take a swig. And he'll recoil a little bit and put it back on, and toss it back over to you, and he's like, "Whew, shit. Well, you're only hunting out here. Strange to be doing in the middle of the night."
No. They come out at night.
So you believe in fairy tales, huh? Man? Is that what you're telling me, boy?
I've seen some fairy tales in real life that you wouldn't believe. And that's not just the firewater talking.
Well, most folks say that a lot of things walk around here at night, including the dead. I've heard that one.
Never run into one of those. But I'm sure I could take care of it. And I'll like throw my coat aside a little bit, and there's like my kind of Winchester sitting there. Or my Winchester in my holster.
So he pulls he sort of smiles and he pulls apart like his little leather coat that he's got on, and there's a silver marshal star, a Texas Ranger star on his chest, and he says, "Yeah, seems I'm in good company tonight. Maybe I'll actually be able to get some sleep. Who knows?"
I like do one of those. I can't whistle personally, but like when he like lifts the thing, I'm like,
Yeah, you know, like yeah, he sucks some air in and he's like,
well, I'll be goddamned.
"I'm also hunting something too."
Better not be the chupacabra. I gotta pay my bills, you know.
Like anyone would pay for a monkey.
You'd be surprised. There's some weird folks around here.
I know what it is that you're hunting. Dare say you won't find anything like that out here, though.
Really?
Just a hunch. Normally, my hunches are right.
Well, maybe your silver star there can direct me in the right direction then.
He sort of smiles again. And you know what? He's like, "You got any more of that firewater left? Feeling a little brave tonight."
I'll like shake it. There's only like a couple sips left. I'm like,
He pulls out a loaf of bread and he rips it in half and he tosses you a big chunk of it.
all right, fine.
Yeah. So he finishes it off, and while you guys are like being merry and having conversations, you know, talking war stories or whatever it is, the night passes and the campfire gets a little more dwindling. Embers start to get there. He pulls out a sleeping bag, or you know, the equivalent, a sleeping roll, I guess, in this time and age. What do you do?
I just pull over a rock and lay my head on the rock.
Good night. So you maybe get like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes worth of sleep. It's hard to tell. But you wake to the low moaning of the horse. Basically just whinnying really quietly, and the sound of like what do you do?
Like pop an eye open, just be like,
It's dark. There's a low glow coming from the campfire.
I guess I'll just like shake my head and just stupid fucking horse. Just try to roll over.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. In the morning, you wake to the cursing and swearing of the Texas Ranger, William, as he kicks up a fucking storm.
Good morning to you too.
Something ate my fucking horse. And you look over at the horse. It's literally like half of it's gone and a skeleton remains, like comical skeleton.
Oh,
Horse
that's
remains.
what that was.
But you fucking heard it and you didn't say nothing.
Horses make weird noises all the time. I don't know what yours was. I thought it was indigestion.
Fuck. What did you say you were after?
Chalupa.
Yeah, like Lexi's thumb pulls out like a fucking manual, and he starts flicking through it, and he flicks to the other side of the book, and opens it up, and he, Chumanga. Ah, Here it is. Chupacabra. Something about... fuck. Things a glutton. God damn it.
Yeah, I got Nancy too.
Well, now. I need to get payback for my horse getting eaten. I'll tell you what, I'll help you put this creature down.
4 guns are better than 2.
So then we get like a series of events happening where you guys are like following a trail of game being eaten.
It's like an 80s buddy cop montage music.
Yeah. Not really. More like a Western montage, you know?
Yeah,
The
Django
sounds of
Unchained kind of thing.
Whip, yeah, like horses being whipped and like, yeah. Then you come across basically like a nest. It's filled with bones and stuff like that. The Chupacabra is not there right now, but you guys set a trap, and when it comes back during the night, basically you guys gun him down in spectacular fashion. You and the Texas Ranger both light the sucker up. He expends more ammunition than he needs to. He turns to you and offers a hand.
I'll like spin the gun, throw it back in my holster, and like take his hand.
Yep. He
Shoot.
shakes it. Yep. He says, I tell you what. I don't imagine folk be paying you to take out no monkeys.
What are you suggesting?
Well, I know it might seem a little contradictory, but the Union and the Confederates, well, something big is happening down. And they're looking for individuals who've seen their fair share of shit. He like hands you a card and it's like, what do you think of Dallas?
Oh, got bad memories of Dallas.
I don't think anyone has good memories of Dallas. The place is a fucking sty, but
Fair
you
enough.
head there. You tell him old Willie sent you.
If there's coin there, I'll be there.
And the government pays well for putting monsters back in the dirt.
Well, shoot.
So he hands you a little card. And I guess that's when you look at the G-Man and you slap that card on the table.
Yeah.
And he looks back up at you. And he says,
I only used 5 bullets. Your boy used 7.
He stands up and he's like, follow me then. And you follow down a corridor. And he leads you into like a room. And there is 2 other men and a small child in the room.
Like, nod to the men and then look at the kid and like, what are you, 9?
I'm actually 13. Well, 12, but people call me 13. I don't know why.
I'll like give a quizzical look to the dude who brought me in. I'm like, what kind of shit show are you running?
Well, like Gaggy ate my friend, so I kind of want to get a Gaggy.
Yeah, so the other gentleman in the room, he's wearing a Union soldier outfit.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like the sun has been baking him for days. His skin is all leathery and like withdrawn on his face. And he has a bandage over his head that is basically like you could see like the blood through the bandage sort of thing on his head.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks up at everyone and he's like,
Something about the kid being smart or something like that. I don't know.
I know ghost rocks.
No one asked you, kid.
He like stands up and he walks over to you, and he outstretches like a leathery hand, and he like size of a normal hand, but it's just sort of like more bone than hand, and he holds it out and he's like,
It's good to meet you. The name's Garrett.
Garrett, Billy Hawkins.
I hope you don't take offense to the uniform I'm wearing.
You don't look any weirder than anything I've seen the last couple nights.
he sort of like looks you up and down, and he's like, and you know he goes to lick his lips, but no moisture comes out, and he's like,
There's something about you. If I had to put my life on the line again, I think I would trust you the most.
Hey, I'm a good kid.
Shut up, kid.
and he like turns to the other one and is like,
And this one, he's still wearing his collar. So, you know, much to be expected there.
Man of the faith.
"You're muted."
Said, leave the boy alone. He's been through quite a lot.
Of course the fucking preacher would protect the boy.
Hey, this preacher man's made it through God knows how long in this shithole. Leave him alone.
And he sits back down. He's like,
Well, G-Man, what's the story? Why are we all here?
and the G-man sort of looks at everyone and is like, "Well, gentlemen and child, I would like to formally introduce you to your new team. This organization is named Noose." And, you know, the Union soldier sort of just goes,
Ha! Is that a joke or something?
he's like, no, it is not. You all seen your fair share of unwanted abominations walking along this land. I'm sure you all get acquainted with each other's experiences over time, but needless to say, we're putting together groups of individuals, posses, as you folk tend to call it, deputizing them and sending them out into the lands and see if they can do any good for us. We are willing to pay you all for the experience.
Done. Where do I sign?
He like, you know, pulls out a questions later. Right now I'm talking, child.
Just kind of snicker. Like, this is going to be great.
So, your objectives are literally the following. You are to walk the lands and destroy as many abominations as you can. Each of these regions, and he like pulls it, like there's a chart on the wall, it's just like, you know, West America. He's like, each of these regions have been affected by what we've called the abominations. And each of these regions need to be, well, I guess, looked after. Your group will be responsible for Texas. There are other posses out there working for Noose, and generally speaking, the general populace is not allowed to know about your affiliations with us. You can consider this the new government of America working together. Both the Confederates and the Union see a great stake in removing the abominations that plague our lands. However, they won't recognize your affiliations if you try and say that you are.
Do we know where these abominations come from?
From what the retired agents tell us, the retired rangers tell us, they come from fear itself. a lot of these individuals are literally just normal human beings that one day decide they want to eat human flesh. Or maybe they covet their neighbor's wife. Or maybe they take a fascination to killing children. Or maybe they don't like the Chinese. Who knows? But what spawns inside of them is pure evil. It's malevolent. Whatever that word is.
Malevolent.
Malevolent, thank you.
Faith in God can cure these evils.
Whatever it is that you need to do to put them down. Now, the Texas Rangers have gone to great lengths to do this themselves. However, child, please. Now is not the time for questions.
But you said anything to help us. Do we get a small part of?
Small pot of what? You froze again.
The ghost drugs? If we can get a small part of the ghost drug, I can really help the Noose.
I'm not going to give you any such things. You'll get a supplement of payment, and that's about it. It's more than can be expected than anything.
But you said you'll do anything to
Quiet,
help us.
child.
Okay.
So, any questions? And he doesn't. And he looks at the child. He's like, "Not from you."
Meh.
No silver stars or
No.
But I wanted a silver star. Sorry, I'm not allowed to talk.
Father, any questions?
Nah, just point me in the direction of where I need to go.
I'll turn. Do they teach you how to use a gun in that book of yours?
Everything I need to know is in this book of ours.
Yours.
Do they teach you the feel of a vagina in there as well, or is that something else that they don't teach you?
I just kind of look at him and shake my head. There's even hope for you.
I've seen the other side. I don't need to see any more of it.
That's why the bandits are.
Quiet, child. Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
I'll sign your fucking document, G-Man.
And Garrett will go over and he'll scribble on the piece of paper and he's like,
How much are we getting paid?
he's like, "You'll get $40 every month. And you'll get bonuses if you kill anything that's worthwhile mentioning in, well, our books and intelligence."
Do we have access to your books and intelligence?
To a degree. However,
Alright.
not a lot is actually known about what you'll be killing. Some of the rangers might be able to help you, but again, you have no affiliation with this government right now.
But you said, sorry, I'm interrupting again. You said you would do anything.
You froze again.
You said you would do anything to help us. Why not the whole book? I hate my internet.
Well, simply put, child, this is information that we're not quite ready to hand over to people we just deputized.
So you're setting us in blind.
Well, we got to see what you can do first. Keep in mind, more and more people are seeing these abominations every day. You can be easily replaced.
Alright, but my flock can't be replaced. What about them?
Or perhaps you can find some solace in the fact that you're doing God's work on their behalf.
Just gotta put my head down.
So, he hands you a paper, Billy.
Mm-hmm.
You sign?
Yeah, it's super messy, but
Illiterate, yeah. What about you, Father? Do you sign? Or Padre?
Yeah. Say a brief prayer to myself, sign on the cross, and then sign my name.
It's like, would you mind signing for the child as well, as his guardian?
The boy must sign for himself.
The boy is not of legal age to sign any such document.
Well, maybe you should have thought of that before you brought the child into this mess. And I pushed the papers over.
Child, we simply need
Yeah.
your thumbprint.
I can write.
No need, just a thumbprint.
Why do they get to write and I don't?
Because you are not of consenting age.
Sure.
All right. So he takes the document, folds it up, and he's like, here is $40 each right now. And now that you've signed this agreement, keep in mind that it's best if the civilians don't know about your affiliation to us. So if they ask questions, just say, you're strangers to this land, or I'm sure you can work it out. Now,
But I am a stranger to this land.
child, please, shut your mouth. So,
one question:
mm-hmm.
do we have to do these things quietly? I mean, hypothetically, if there was the monster man in the middle of the street, could have just gunned him down in cold blood.
Well, that really depends on the city, but spreading fear doesn't help. Removing the source of the fear is a great way to remove whatever's tainting these lands, as the Rangers put it, but it's probably a good idea that you come up with a reason as to why this man was gunned down in the first place, if you have to.
He was on a wanted poster. Just use that.
All right, kid, you're on alibi duty.
Yes. I got a duty.
Father,
Oh my god, this kid...
pray for all of us.
I swear to God.
I've been praying this whole time.
So, the one lead that I can give you in Texas is that there is a man who, for the most part, is responsible for sowing seeds of evil in every town that he comes across.
You know where in Texas? Texas is a big place.
No, I can't tell you as to where his location is because he doesn't seem to stay in one place for very long. However, I can give you a location where we last saw him.
Do we get to Fatakaki?
He ignores you. There's a town, West Texas, called Wild Creek. It's a little establishment that, for the most part, has left its good fortune behind. It was once a gold panning location. But it seems that the gold has run out, and so did most of its promise for growth. That's the last place that Ranger saw this stranger.
Do we know what direction he was traveling in?
I couldn't tell you, but I would suggest starting in Wild Creek if I were you.
Aye.
Can we get a description of this man?
I told you, he's a cloaked stranger.
Is it just cloaked?
You know, for a very smart child, you are very dumb.
A question asking child is a smart child. Also, I know how to make a gun from scratch.
Oh, maybe you should make something to cover your mouth.
I can do that. Just don't want to. Then I can't ask questions.
So, with that, he sends you on your way. So, do you guys have any questions for this NPC that's with you while we're here?
What was his name again?
Garrett.
Garrett.
The first thing that he'll do is he'll, go and buy some suitable travel clothing that isn't Union uniform, because that doesn't go down too well in a Confederate state. So, but you can feel free to ask him any questions you want.
What's your deal?
You're gonna have to be a little bit more poignant than that, kid.
I thought I was the kid.
Shut up.
Oh.
Just want to say this is great. Shut up, Wesley, all the time. It's perfect. It's like, you know how to handle guns.
I am a soldier. I've killed my fair share of Indians, if that's what you're asking.
What's the worst thing you've seen so far?
Let's see.
Non-human thing.
Well,
I think most definitely me.
the most non-human thing that I saw was a bunch of Indians eating my stomach, pulling my intestines out, and basically doing some fucking voodoo bullshit.
How have you survived this?
Let's just say they weren't so good at it.
Well, all right then.
They dragged me behind their horse, they cut me open, they did their little fucking experiments. They're not so good at it. I'm still walking around. That's all that matters.
So, have you been dead?
The fuck are you talking about, kid? Do I look dead to you?
Yes. Well, except talking, but that's about it.
You know, for a smart child, you're pretty fucking stupid.
I'm asking question, aren't I? Trying to learn here. I'm new to all of this monster hunting business. I want to know if we die, we can go back to you,
So
or if we.
he turns to Billy and he's like,
What's your deal then? You smell funny.
I haven't bathed in a month.
Aye, not that. It's something else.
You're gonna have to be a little bit more pointed than that.
Well, I mean, father here smells of innocence. The kid here smells of diapers.
Hey!
And you, well, I can't point on what it is that you smell like.
I just stay silent at him.
Well, who's up for a little road trip to, horse trip, whatever they fucking called it back then, to Wild Creek, hmm?
I'm afraid to say yes because you just say I have to shut up.
Oh, you're learning. For a smart kid, you're getting the hang of it.
Do you know how far the travel is? How far away is Wild Creek?
it is. So if you take a look on the map here.
I asked the NPC, not the marshal.
Sure. So you guys need to travel basically 3 squares, and each square is a day, essentially. Actually, no, half a square is a day on horseback, right? But, you know, for the sake of, getting there on time, you guys are gonna... So basically, 1 square is 100 miles, I think it is, right?
It's only about 5 feet.
Yeah, 1 square is about 100 miles. So that's the way that I put it on the map. So roughly you can travel comfortably about 50 to 40 miles a day on horseback. No problems. But for next...
Take the train to laid back and then down.
Yeah, exactly, right? But, you know, doing that will, you know, you can't take horses on trains. Unless you pay extra. So
don't you just whistle and they show up? That's how that works in the video games.
So for the sake of the next game, you guys are going to be riding to Wild Creek and just start there, because you know Wild Creek is kind of like the tutorial island for you guys. But as it is,
get a tutorial.
Yeah, as it is right now, you know, there's not much to worry about, because that's the end of the session. So, what did you guys think?
Feel good.
I think Aaron disliked children.
I think everyone in this world dislikes children, to be honest with you.
I like children.
Gross. But yeah.
Not like that.
So, any questions at all?
So the $40 we got paid, does that go on top of the $250 we start with? So we have like
Yes.
$290. Okay.
Yep, $290.
Cool.
So you guys can, you know, outfit yourselves. I'm gonna say that you all have, you know, what's considered in the book, because there's a couple of things that you can do. You can get El Cheapo shit. You have El Cheapo horses right now, unless you buy a horse yourself. So consider everyone has a free El Cheapo horse. And yeah. What was your Maleo, the start of next session you'll get to build a gizmo basically. You have a piece of ghost rock, and you can tinker with it on the way. So that is the start of how you will get your stuff, and we'll go over that next session. Speaking about next session, it's not going to be next week, unfortunately, because dear Spooty McTootie has a birthday on that day.
Sorry I was born.
How dare you?
How dare you? But yeah, I thought that was a pretty good session, a good start at least to the game. I've been preparing this game for a long time. I wanted to play it like 2 years ago, but I was super worried about like not knowing enough about American history to get into it. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, what did you guys think? Interesting so far?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm ready.
Nice. All right, guys, let's do some shout outs and wrap this bitch up. So, Drummer Boy, where can people find you?
Occasionally here on Twitch as Drummer Boy. If you want to hear my music, it's available on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, all those places. My Patreon is going to go over a quick overhaul next month. I just finished the last tune of the per, like they have the per month and the per project. I'm moving from per project to per month, and it's going to be $3 for everything. So it's like the main track and the variations for $3, $5 if you feel like supporting more. It's greatly appreciated and would let me do more stuff for that. But yeah, so look out for that next month.
Nice. Spooty McTootie, where can people find you?
Yeah, a couple nights a week here on Henley's channel, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then on my Twitch, usually on the weekends. This weekend, probably not as much though because of birthday celebraciones.
You gonna touch that God of War, my man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know the Twitter stuff.
Nice. Yeah. I've actually got your stuff right this time. You have the most annoying, confusing Twitter handle and whatever. I always forget which one it is, but I think I got it right this time.
Yeah, you got it right. And for some reason, Twitter wouldn't let me just pick 71. I had to put a fucking underscore on there because Twitter is the devil.
Nice. Well, you're against the devil now. And last but not least, we have Maleo the monkey. Where can people find your booty holes?
Well, at least twice a week over at Malado Monkeys, twitch.tv/Malado Monkey, and trying to work out a YouTube as well. So that's about it.
Nice. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the character creation episode of Deadlands Reloaded game. Lots to get over in this game. Once we actually start getting into it and the characters start, dicking around and having all their stuff done and all that sort of shit, it should be a lot of fun. So join us. What week? That will be the 1st, I guess, of May. Will be the next game, right? Yeah, that sounds
First
right.
of May. First of May. Outdoor fucking starts today. Yeah.
Yeah. So join us back on the 1st of May for this first actual play episode of this game. But until then, guys, have a good one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.